It's Saturday. Aston Villa have won. Therefore, life is good. How is everyone this fine evening? Thank you very much for being here tonight. Obviously, I do apologise that I had to postpone yesterday, but it means that you get a happy Jeff. A happy Jeff that's just watched Aston Villa scrape by the thinnest of margins past the glorious Nottingham Forest. I mean, they're third in the league for a reason, an exceptionally good side, and we are now firmly in that race for fourth. I mean, none of you are here for my musings on Aston Villa though. You're here for some FM. But before we head on over that, I'd just like to say a little welcome. I'm going to start, perhaps a little bit surprisingly, with a welcome to people who probably aren't even here. So I want to say thank you to FTechD, Josh Gallant, Claire Bourne, and Bensball for following over the last couple of days. Maybe if you're here, it'd be lovely to hear from you. If you're catching up on VOD, fantastic. And if you never hear this message at all, still wonderful all the same. That's very much appreciated. Now, let's talk about the people who are here. Like the glorious, the wonderful, the beautiful, the sexy Viva. Viva's in. How are you, my dude? Lovely to see you. RJ is here as well, which is marvellous. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're resting after some days on the farm. I hope this is a lazy weekend for you. Zerachul is in, and he's found some candy on the way home from the football. Now, you know, you can't really knock that. I do wonder whether candy is a euphemism, though. So, you know, it could be, as RJ says, from a van next to a nice guy. Quite possibly, who knows. Blue Lions is in as well. Welcome in, my dude. How are you feeling about the game tomorrow? We have FMGNG here as well. How are you, sire? Lovely to see you. We've got that guy there over on YouTube. He's got his Chievo side also play tomorrow against a team I've never heard of. I'm going to get this pronunciation wrong. Chievo are playing Casatesi Murat? However you say that. Surely that's going to be an easy win. I hope it is. We've got Panji in. Welcome in, my dude. I hope you're doing well. Obviously, I will try and help where I can, but while streaming, kind of like, I am bad enough at focusing on what I'm doing at the best of times, so we'll see. Now, we have someone very wonderful to see. We've got Adam. We've got On The Break FM in. Welcome in, Adam. How are you doing, sir? Lovely to see you. We have Rintera in. Forest lost up the Chelsea. I mean, I suppose that opened up with Arsenal's result earlier as well. A great point for Everton. Nottingham Forest have missed a big chance to close that gap. But really, there could be a fight for second on. I mean, there's not much to separate Forest, Chelsea, Man City. We're just behind them, but I think we've played a game more than Chelsea and Man City and Newcastle, who are just behind us. So I don't really know where we stand in it, but certainly Chelsea, Man City, Nottingham Forest, they're all in that fight for second potentially, which is crazy to think. Crazy to think. And so that guy there says they're Serie D, so they're above us in fifth whilst we're down in seventh. So it should be a good game though. I didn't realise that Chievo had fallen that badly. I'm so sorry. Blue Baron is in. Welcome in. We're here. You're here for my personality and wisdom. Oh no, because I don't have either of those things. I definitely don't have personality, that's for sure. A very dull human being, and I pride myself in it. Catch22 is here. Chris Norton Walker is here. Lovely to see you both. How are you doing? How's the weekend's been so far? Shall we do the whole bingo thing, because RJ has redeemed a mini game. So why don't we head over and do that, and then we can catch you up on the save. So let's head on over. It's that button there that I need to press. And so let me explain how this game works. Very simply, let me pop the link into chat for you guys if you want to join in. You can, by clicking on that link, it's going to take you to a website called playfootball.games, where you can then take part all at the same time in a round of bingo. Every player gets a unique bingo card with 16 squares. Inside those squares is like a badge of a club, or a flag of a country, or the name of a competition or an award. Your job is to assign a list of players that are revealed one after the other to all of those squares. So you will get a player, we all get the same players, all in the same order, and we've got to work out whether they match any of those 16 criteria. If they do, we click on the square accordingly. If they don't, we click on skip. We get a total of 10 seconds per player to make our assessment. Once you click on a square, you can't undo it. You are locked in, so make sure that you are confident that player does actually meet that criteria. Now, when you start, there's another 59 players to come, so there's always going to be a good chance that there's going to be someone later down that list that almost certainly does if you're not quite so sure. Once you start getting towards the end, though, probably a little bit trickier, and sometimes you just have to chance it a bit. So Rintira says, it's unreal how Forest are still in third this late into the season. Fair play to them. Absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. RJ hopes that United wins tomorrow. Unfortunately, I mean, it's all the games are a little bit weird because, is there a way that all teams can lose? That would be the ideal situation. Oh crap, that's tomorrow. That will make me sad again. Don't think about it. Tomorrow is a long way away. Right, so Adam's probably going to be lurking. No worries at all. Thank you for dropping by the way. So, but looking forward to seeing how Milan look in this universe. I'm looking forward. We're going to finally get to some competitive games. And also, I need you guys to keep me updated on the Barcelona score. Because obviously I saw that Real Madrid lost earlier to a 94th minute Hugo Duro goal. So, if Barca win tonight, that's virtually the league tied up, right? Okay, so I'm going to give it like another, shall we say, 30 seconds or so for anyone else who might want to join the game of bingo, and then we'll hit play. So a great chance for those that come along to the streams regularly to pick up points whilst there's no Crudmo around. I mean, Zerachul is now up to second in the all-time list, having overtaken Ladisław Almasifan. DM Basis has just overtaken Adam as well. So Adam, if you aren't lingering, you should definitely get involved. No, I'm not gonna put you on the spot like that. That was unfair. I do apologize. Right, let's head into the game. So it's gonna start in about 12 seconds. So a safe pair of hands is in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? How's your weekend been so far? Adam, he has. Right, okay, so I'm going to be quite slow on these first ones, let them play through. So we've got Glenn Johnson, who might meet some of those criteria. I'm not even going to pay attention to it. And then we've got Yunus Kabul. Yunus Kabul definitely meets some of these criteria as well. But I'm still not going to play Yunus Kabul, just so that I don't get ahead of you and you get a little bit of insight into who the next players up are. Now, Jude Bellingham, I am going to play that because I'm not very good at knowing Champions League winners. So Konstantinos Tsimakis, we've got to play him as well, right down at the last second. Although I could have saved that. I could have saved Vladimir Smicha. Now, Smicha was Czech, right? So it's not Croatian. This is what happens. You start to doubt yourself, even with things that you potentially know. So you've been in the stream a few times. Lovely to see. You're Noah. Well, welcome in, Noah. Lovely to have you by. I hope that it's enjoyable. So Alejandro Grimaldo. Now Alejandro Grimaldo, I think, is Portuguese, but I'm doubting myself, so I'm going to let that one run past as well. Has Alexander Isak played for any of these teams? Maybe, I don't know. Davy Klaassen now. Has he played at PSV? Again, I'm sure he came through at Ajax, perhaps. I say sure. Maybe he came through at Ajax. But beyond that, I'm not particularly confident. So Uruguay for Darwin Núñez. Peter Crouch, quite famously, played for Lille and PSV and won the World Cup Golden Boot, as did Scott Carson. Now, Scott Carson, how many games does he have to have played to count for Man City? We will definitely play that one now. So Callum Hudson-Odoi. Oh, he must have played with Lukaku, right? Lukaku's been back and forth at Chelsea so many times. I feel like that should be okay. Fabio Carvalho. I'm going with Portugal here. Peter Galacci, former Liverpool youth goalkeeper, but that's already been played. I don't know about any of these other ones. Oh, we've got lots of Liverpool players coming up here. Connor Bradley now as well. Connor Bradley, I don't think will meet any of those. Robert Lewandowski won't be a World Cup Golden Boot winner. Don't think he's played for... He's managed by... Yeah, he would have been managed by Guardiola at Bayern. But unfortunately, I was a little bit too hesitant there. Right, Shinji Kagawa. Shinji Kagawa. Great career, Shinji Kagawa. But I don't know if he matches any of these. Oyhan Sanset. I know bugger all about Oyhan Sanset, other than he plays in Spain currently. That doesn't match any of these. Have Argentina won the Copa America with Angel Di Maria in the side? I'm going to say they have. I'm sure he was part of the squad for the last one, right? Or the one. Actually, it's probably two Copa Americas ago. Right, Diego Milito. We can play him there. Harvey Elliott, we can skip. Fernando Couto. Fernando Couto. I associate him with Parma. I don't know if he matches any of those other criteria. I know that Kondogbia played in France. I don't know which teams he played with. Hakan Suka surely had to have played in the Turkish top division at some point. Domagoj Vida will go for Croatia. Thomas Gravesen, we will skip. Sean Wright Phillips, we will skip. Kaglar Soyuncu, we will skip. Burak Yilmaz. Yeah, I'm not feeling confident on that either. Even Rakitic. Oh, was Rakitic after Guardiola had left? I feel like Rakitic might have been after Guardiola left, so I'm going to let that one fly. Stanisic, I can only think of German teams. Alisson. That's going to be a skip. He came from Roma, didn't he? Vinny Jr. I don't believe he's played for any of those. Martin Škrtel. Martin Škrtel, proper Slovakia. I don't know if he's played for any of those. Stanislav Lobotka. We can pass. Mauro Icardi. Harry Kewell. I'm not liking these players right now. Samir Nasri. Did Samir Nasri leave before Guardiola arrived? I'm going to say that he did. Marcel Desailly. It's French. I've completely blanked there. Diego Jota. I don't believe he matches any of those. Divock Origi. I have no idea which clubs he's played for. Dimitri Payet. I'm sure he... Oh, was he at Lille? He feels like a player that was at Lille. Guido Rodriguez. I'm going to say that he played for PSV. And then Jared Branthwaite, who I know played for PSV, comes up. That's typical. Gigi Wijnaldum. Gigi Wijnaldum, he can skip there. Rui Costa, we can skip as well. Rui Patricio, we can skip. Ander Herrera. Marco Verratti. Daniel Van Boyten. I feel like he would have retired from Bayern before Guardiola was there as well, so I'm going to pass that. Caceres will never score a golden boot. I don't think Vialli got a golden boot, right? Vialli didn't get a golden boot. Let's go with it anyway. Quagliarella, Gary Lineker, Eusebio, Marquinhos. That's a pretty bad round. So Isaac, I think Burak Yilmaz played for Lille. That does sound right. Nasri was also French. He was indeed. So there we go. FMG&G with 13 correct out of 16. Fabulous work, sir. That is 5 points going your way. And then we've got Zeep and Johnny Trotter in joint second. Just one fewer right there. Then we've got Vivo in fourth, and that guy there rounding out the top five. Fabulous work, guys. Absolutely wonderful stuff. So, I mean, I know Verratti, I know Vialli, I know Marquinhos was wrong. Guido Rodriguez, I have no idea there whatsoever. But that's some marvellous start. I think we started off strong tonight. By the way, Jay Miller, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in. Let's head on over to the game then, shall we? Which means I need to press that button there. and head over here. So we're about to head into the first game. We'll take that hydrate now, Zerachor, that you redeemed like 15 minutes ago. So first time that guy there has played it, had me scratching my head, but it was fun. It's quite challenging, and like the knowledge that you think you've got kind of escapes you in the moment as well. Like it only, like literally seconds after you press something, you're like, oh, you know, why did I make that mistake? Now, Zerachor, you also wanted us to take a look at Sfere Halsethnaipan, who is currently playing for Lazio. So he's already played a game this season in the Coppa Italia. He is now worth 53 million to 60. Oh, that will be because I was doing a Moneyball clinic in England. Let's change this back to euros. And we don't need to reload the skin. Let's pop forward there again. There we go. He's worth 62 million to 74 million euros now, age 24. We won't have we might have a complete picture of his. No scouting report on him yet, so I don't know how accurate his attributes here are. But from those things, elite flair, hasn't really developed in a way where he stands out anywhere else. So let's take a look at his career. He spent the first 3 seasons still in Norway with Rosenborg. Nothing particularly special, it's got to be said. A couple of goals, couple of assists here. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. And then got a €7 million move to Lazio, where he was very much on the peripheries, mainly a substitute. That carried on for a couple of years. And then around the 27-28 season, he's moved into the starting lineup. He's been solid. Nothing special. Nothing special. But you know, kind of solid there. And yeah, he's a bit of a rotation piece. 5 assists is his best season for assists there. The following year he started to drop out the line out, and then he went on loan to Lille, where he scored 4, 3 assists. Started a lot more games there once again. So kind of a middling career from the look of things. So he scored our winner today. That'll do. That'll definitely do then, Zerachil. So RJ says Barca has no chance. No chance because Anthony is playing. The man revived indeed. So Blue Baron asks, do you have a video where you show how to use your skin and a link? I don't know what MMFM stands for. Oh, is that meant to be MustermannFM? I suppose. I mean, it would be MFM. Mustermann's one word, but so in terms of a link, that's probably going to take you to the Sports Interactive forum, if I'm correct there. It will, it'll take you to FM Scout. Ironically, FM Scout will then have a video embedded, which will take you back to YouTube. So that's the overview of the skin, which tells you kind of how it works. And then basically every video on the channel, yeah, we'll kind of cover it and using it in situ. I recommend looking at something like the Pauk series in particular, or the live videos of me using it live, as probably the best route for that. So nickname 123321 is in. Welcome in, my dude. Welcome in. Right, so here we are. First game of the season. We're away against Juventus. So whilst we were between streams, I have played the last 2 preseason games, because it helps me to be able to actually concentrate on what's going on, rather than trying to chat where I then completely ignore the game and I've got no idea. We are predicted to finish second. I think that's kind of fair. Inter Milan have won it most seasons, and we came in with a team that finished second last year. So kind of seems to be a race between the two of us from the looks of things. We have signed a few players. We've signed Joshua Zirkzee. A 30-year-old Joshua Zirkzee has arrived, and he's going to be playing either as a striker or as an attacking midfielder. One of the reasons we wanted to bring him in is not just because he's quite tall, but because he's able to play in a very, very creative capacity, as well as up front, which I think will be really nice with what we're going to do with our tactical approach. Then we signed a 33-year-old Nikola Milenkovic. Nikola Milenkovic comes in as a solid centre-back. He can jump, doesn't have any weaknesses physically or defending. He can do what you kind of need from someone in defence in terms of passing. He's good enough at passing, good enough technique, good enough first touch. So he comes in, going to be our starter in the right centre-back slot. He's come in because we've sold Kaiki. We've signed Kaiki for 58 million euros to Newcastle. And now the reason why we sold Kaiki is whilst Kaiki looks quite good, some elite things that he's defensively, marking, positioning, concentration, that's encouraging. However, we did see his stats from last season, and his header win rate was beneath 70%. His tackle win rate was beneath 70%. So for a man who was earning 350,000 euros a week, we got him out the door. We've also sold starting goalkeeper Mike Maignan. He's gone for a very, very small fee, but he was also on 350k per week. He's now 36 and he lacks agility. So agility is something I really, really like in a goalkeeper. It's time to move him on, and his replacement is the 47.5 million euro signing Elia Caprile. Now, because we've only just taken over, we don't have many players scouted. But we did go and watch a Roma game at the end of our time with Darmstadt, because if Roma survived, we would have applied for their job there. But so Caprile, pretty solid goalkeeping around, much better agility there, great at one-on-ones, great at reflexes. I think he should be a solid option for a sweeper keeper. At 29 years old, we've got a player who should be at the top of his game for the next 5, 6, 7 years or so. So that's all our transfer activity so far. Ishmael Benessa went out for 17 million euros. Jovan Zivkovic went out for 25 million. No major big time players. Zivkovic, for example, had something like 13 starts for Milan over 3 seasons. So there's no big loss there, even if he has scored 2 goals on his Dortmund debut. We do still need a right back, and we have a player called Tommaso Profundi, who's at Atlanta, who is very much on our radar. He's pretty reasonable. He's not very good at dribbling, but he can cross, which is grand. And we can see from last season he was really good at open play key passes and open play cross attempts. So that's really, really exciting to us. In fact, whilst we were moving between the last few preseason games and the first league game, I did put a bid in, and talks broke down when it came to contract. So that's kind of fallen by the wayside. We might have to look to revisit that maybe a few weeks down the line once the agent isn't angry at me and all that. We also have Gaetano Guglielmi. Now, he's popped up as someone who we had marginal knowledge on, so I've asked the scouts to watch him more. We don't have enough information about his attributes right now for that to be accurate. But we can see that down in Serie B, he's been pretty damn good. 10 assists last season, 5 the season before. He broke through the season before, and so it's just a handful of appearances. So someone who appears to be on an upward trajectory. I'd be keen to see what the full scout report looks like once it comes in. And then I'm just asked them to scout Enzo Barrenetxea as well. He's not a player that I'm considering signing right now, but if we got a bid for, say, someone like Santiago Heze, who's here, then we'd possibly consider Barrenetxea as a player that could come in. Let's do this. So it's an easy start, an easy first game, indeed. So Demir's in, welcome in. Are we going to play another round of football bingo? We will, probably a little bit later when someone over on Twitch redeems another minigame. There is a cooldown between them though, Demir, so it probably won't be for like another 40-50 minutes though. RJ, did I copy what Amram is doing with Zaki? Essentially. AC Milan 0, Fiorentina 2 after 19 minutes. Incredible stuff. I mean, I've said this a number of times before, but I'm not sold on Conceição. It is Conceição, isn't it? It's Conceição replaced Fonseca, not the other way round. I'm not sold on him. So sure, you can't take 19 minutes into a home game against Fiorentina as evidence that you are right on that statement, but it doesn't surprise me. And Gavi is given Barcelona the lead. How about that? Right, so here's our tactic. Our tactic, which I have now called Estrattore di Diamanti. That's definitely how you pronounce it. Or Diamond Extractor. Now, it doesn't make sense why I've called it Extractor, but to me, if I draw a line from the strikers down to the midfielders, then down to the defenders, it looks a little bit like an extractor fan. You've got the fanned hood, and then you've got the pipes that go up into the ceiling. But it's also a diamond, so that's why it's called Diamond Extractor. We have a lot of flexibility within this. We could have both wing-backs on attacking roles, both wing-backs on supporting roles. We could have double Carraleros, double Mizzalas. Up front, I want one of these players to be on a support duty, but that could be us going with an Ngonch, an advanced forward here like that, or maybe we go with a trequartista and a complete forward on support, and we swap these guys around. We can play around depending on which players are going to play in those roles. For example, we've got Fatawu here, so we could also have a possibility where we go with an advanced forward on the left, a deep lying forward in support, and you've got a trequartista. Or that comes back to an Ngonch, and that becomes a deep lying forward on attack, and so forth. So we're going to mix and match and experiment and occasionally just react on a whim. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. For our game against Juventus, though, I think I want to go with what we had it set up with originally. So that's like that. I think we're going with double Carralero and an attacking wingback. Eddie's in. Welcome in, Eddie. How are you doing, sir? How's your weekend treating you so far? So let's head straight into the game. Now, we know that Juventus are going to be playing a 4-4-2 with double inverted wingers, one wing back on the left. So we might need to... Yeah, we're just going to rein Hernandez in a bit. That's going to be a side that's going to be weak. That's part of the... You know, we accept that we're going to be weak down the flanks, and despite us being weak down the flanks, we're actually going to try and force the opposition out there as well, because I want to encourage them to send in crosses where I think we should be okay, reasonably so. So Adam, it is Milan in a diamond. Had to be done. I mean, well, it was inspired by some of the... We start to see quite a bit of the 4-4-2 diamond whilst we're in the last days over in Germany. So we thought it makes sense, or I thought it makes sense to take some inspiration from what's happening within the game world. So if I'm starting to see an emergence of a formation, I imagine that our manager, Mika Aratalo, would take inspiration from the things he sees going around. And it just so happens to be perfect for Juventus, who, somewhat appropriately, are managed by Sergio Conceição after I've slagged him off. Right, players seem to be in a good mood for it, so that's cool. I have faith, and I've forgotten to set this to assistant stuff, so we can now head into the game. So it's 2-1 now. Milan have pulled one back with Tammy Abraham. So if you squint, you could mistake Xerxes for Gullit. Gullit with that haircut. That is a Baltic. Oh no, I've forgotten a file. Bugger. Right, okay. That's something I need to do in my off time as well, as I'm trying to work my way through like little iterative changes. Now, I expect for most of you guys that the text is going to be far too small on these player profiles here, but we have progressive passes, key passes, shots, tackle win rate, header win rate in very, very small text that I can read and no one else can. Right, early start. We've picked up a yellow card. That always bodes well. So let's tend to ease off tackles. And let's see, we don't play out of defence explicitly, but it will be something that we probably turn on for certain games. Not games away from home against one of the better teams in the league. I expect that they'd be able to press us quite effectively, especially with two up top. Here's Rafael Leao in behind. It's offside though. Oh, that could have been a good start. So Demir, you're excited about the Trek Leao. It should be interesting. But we can also swap him around. It might end up being Trek Xerxes at some point as well. Oh. I haven't shown you. I had some thoughts about set pieces, right? So from a set piece perspective, we have some options. One that I call the edge, one that I call the hole, and one that I call the barricade. So the barricade just brings the other counter-attacker back, so we've got everyone back. The hole just pushes the guy on the edge of the area further forward, so we've only got one on the edge of the area. That's not the exciting bit. The exciting bit is our attacking corners. Our attacking corners. We have gone for everyone attacking the ball from the edge of the area. I'm calling it the train. So we have one person just trying to annoy the hell out of the goalkeeper. We have 4 players that are going to essentially create that little train on the edge of the area and then peel off. Behind them, we have a player who's just going to lurk. So they're all going to hopefully kind of be one kind of glob. But one guy stays there on the outside, maybe ends up free that way. And then we do have someone lurk in the centre. If we can, we'll have another person lurk on the near side, so we can hopefully keep that pressure on. Should it not make it past the first man, for example. We've got then other options where we've got it sent to the centre and once to the edge of the area as well. So modify frequency routines. Most of them are going to be sent to the far post, a little bit to the centre, a little bit to the edge of the area. I expect it will be rubbish. I expect it will fail spectacularly, but you know, why not try these things as we hit the post from Rafael Leao. So Eddie, work. Now I want to be entertained and this will make or break my weekend. No pressure. Oh my, that is a lot of pressure. I will try my best. It's not too small for RJ, fabulous. You can read them. Blue Baron can read them as well because he has a massive screen, perfect. Demir can read them because you're only about 20 centimetres away from the screen. Perfect. Now that looked like it was a decent chance for Juve, but we come away. Here's Elena Kana. Can he get it into the... He drills it and Carnesci straight at him, unfortunately. So that could have been a chance for good counter-attack. So we've had one big chance from Juventus, or relatively. And here comes another. Here's Vlahovic in behind. Caprile stays tall, pushes it behind. So Zerachil, the beard never disappoints. The beard is the most important part. Right, here's the cross to the far post. Diamande onto the roof of the net. Let's give these guys some encouragement. We've had a couple of moments now. Right, Elena Kana comes away. Can he do something here all on his own? He's going to play it back to Hernandez. He finds Leao. Leao shoots from distance. It's low, it's soft, it's far too central. And that's an easy gather for Carnesci. So we can see we are camped in their half. Here's Baglieri. Baglieri fires over from the edge of the area as well. Even if it doesn't seem like XG wise they should be massively ahead. Shots wise it's pretty even. But we do seem to be doing an okay job in terms of establishing ourselves in their half, which is cool to see. From a possession point, it's pretty even. We are better at final third passes. That figures with the positions there. Let's have a look. Nico is giving the ball away quite a bit. 7 times from 37. Baglieri is as well. So I might rein him in. I might bring him off because he's on a yellow card. Progressive passes. They're coming from Beraldo. Coming from Bove. Nico's a little bit behind in that regard. Cool. Right, we have to be better, I'm afraid. We have to be better. And that's going to require us to bring Baglieri in. Sorry, Baglieri off and Venturelli on. We'll pop him on support. Because we're popping him on support, we're going to make Nico Gonzalez the make way. Takari will come on there. We're going to do that little swap round. So advance forward. Elena Kana can be the man on support. I feel like Leao's been quite energetic. So we'll try something like that. They're all fired up, but let's see if we can get them to a solid green. We can't. That's a shame. So RJ Betis have scored us. Nathan. Nice. Gamma Joba, Mr. Echo. How are you doing, sir? How are you doing? You must be delighted with the Real Madrid result earlier as we go 1-0 down 30 seconds into the second half. That was surely onside. No doubts about that one whatsoever. It is indeed onside. So those changes. Chef's kiss. We definitely got that right. Elise in behind from the free kick. Crosses it on a plate for Vlahovic. Beautiful, beautiful goal. Welcome in Johnson as well. I hope you're doing well. How's the weekend going? Here's Beraldo. Do we need to move our mentality up? I mean, that's got to be a massive XG chance as well, right? Yes, they've gone up to, that was like 0.5. Massive, massive chance there. Venturelli sends it in. Elena Kane's the target. He gets the header. But unfortunately, it's relatively tame and Carnesci gets down well. Right, so it does look like momentum. Maybe we've lost out a little bit in that regard. Here's Elise now, cuts inside and finds Bruno Fernandes. Back to Elise. Corner Diath as well. Okay, that was nicely done from Juventus. Moved forwards quite nicely. They have been forced backwards though. Teze, out wide to Yankutu. Goes back into Gorna Duath. Now Elise. He likes cutting inside. We can see that as soon as he gets the ball, he seems to be dribbling inside, which is cool for us, really. But here's Samuel Lino with the cross. Vlahovic makes it 2-0. We have fucked it. We have absolutely fucked it with those changes. How about that, hey? Juventus 2-0 up. Diamande. Ball drift comes out wide. Feeds Samuel Lino. Samuel Lino with the low cross. Vlahovic beautifully on his left foot. 2-0. Very, very nice goals. So time to pause. We need to go more attacking. I think we're going with Carmona on for Xerxes. We're going to pop the Al back into that role. The attack came down that side, so let's put him on support. Dribble less, but get further forwards. Probably beyond our reach now, I would imagine. Corner, a goal from a corner would be nice though. Hernandez is going to take it. He swings it in, it's headed away. I don't know who it was who headed it away. It gone from the commentary by the time I seen it. Beraldo now pushes it back to Bove. Hernandez, can he find someone? We can! Ayman Kari! Ayman Kari, that is the tonic we needed. It's a goal on his debut. Oh, right, okay, so Ayman Kari was on loan with Milan last season. That deal was made permanent before we joined. So Rafael Leao feeds Kari. It takes a deflection on its way through, squeezes past Carnesci. Juve is cooking. They are, unfortunately. So Mr. Echo is delighted with the result earlier. I don't blame you there. If it's okay to talk about betting here, I will tell you all. I take it that you've won big on betting. You are more than welcome to talk about it. I will. Oh no, that was bad. That was bad. Like Milenkovic was completely unaware of. Like he turned round, but he didn't read the path of the pass whatsoever. However, he could be the one starting our counter attack. Not like that though. Yeah, you're more than welcome. I will naturally follow it up with a caution to all to bet in moderation. Here's Carmona. What can Carmona do? Can we get a 2-minute turnaround? The cross is in. Elena Kane takes it down. Elena Kane! What a finish! It's a 2-minute comeback. Carmona. What a man. Does well. Just about creates the space. Kane had the presence of mind to bring it down and then spank it with that left foot. Okay, I'm not going to get carried away. I was going to say we're going to win the league, but here's a highlight for Juventus from the looks of things. Hilgers out wide to Jan Kutu. There we go. We've got the player coming across. Vlahovic with the shot. Caprilli with the save. I wonder if my defenders would like to mark Vlahovic. I think it might help us. So, John, sir, Hanover got smashed and your team got smashed 5-1, so it could be better. That is not good. That is not good at all. Hanover hardly got smashed. It was 1-0. I mean, when you have one team lose big, any other loss feels like an absolute spanking. So, completely understandable. By Milenkovic, back to Beraldo. Going to try and suck them out here and then maybe create some space. Here's Theo coming inside with the ball. Feeds Elena Kaina. Don't you break my heart. Don't you break my heart. Maria Sole Ferrere Capitelli. Well, I didn't even catch her last name. I didn't catch her last name because we are 3-2 up. 3-2 up. My word, welcome in, Brazilian Fury. How are you doing, my dude? How are you doing, sir? Lovely to see you. Unfortunately, I can't type, it appears. There we go, that's worked. It's another throw-in. This game has been all highlights this second half. It was 0-0 at half-time. Thior manages to get the block in. Now he plays it into Caprillo, who's under pressure. Elise gets the header. But can we come away with it? Maybe we can. Here's Elena Kaina. Elena Kaina, the man who has made me very, very happy. Carnesci sends it away. Elena Kaina once more. Elena Kaina to Thior. Here's Venturelli. Loads of space. Tries to go past his man. He can't. Cambiasso cuts it out. Theo wins the header. Bove sends it over. It's another throw-in. Just 2 minutes passed, I think, between those highlights. And here's Teze. Back all the way to Carnesci. He plays it out wide to Yankutu. Hilgers. Out wide. Elise sends it in and Theo gets the header. Here's Rafael Leao. Kari's going to break forward. It's a lovely ball for Carmona. Oh my. Right, take a note. Attacking helped. Complete forward on support, Trequartista. Advanced forward seems to have been rather nice. Mazzala. But we should have gone with the Mazzala from the start, I think, as well, potentially. Right, more changes. We have 2 stoppages left and 2 changes. We're going to bring off Theo. Theo's looking very tired. We are going to drop down to balanced. And we're going to drop that tempo. Start time wasting in the last 10 minutes. And then in a few moments, we will then make the next substitution as well. Just so that we can, kind of waste as much time as we possibly can in these last few moments. By Milovenkic into carry. Here's Elena Kaina. Elena Kaina now drifting. I do like how involved Elena Kaina has been as that complete forward on support. Theo into Elena Kaina again. Here's Carmona. Carmona has made a huge difference since coming on. He fires. Carnesci tips it over. We know who's going to get a song first. Oh my word, we do. Oh my word, we do. We have a new go. Elena Kaina is my star. Elena Kaina. I can't even think of anything. I mean, does it fit Macarena? Elena Kaina. Hi. I think it might do. Our last change is Siklic on at the base of that midfield. And we should I'd say should. We scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, so anything could happen from here still. A 5th goal would be quite nice if possible. So RJ, don't bet that money you can't lose. Something like that. Indeed, that's sensible. So you won about 150 euros. If there was one more yellow card in Celta Vigo game from 56th minute, and it didn't happen. Oh, that's a bugger. That's a shame. That is a shame. George is in. Welcome in, George. How are you doing, sir? Lovely to see you. Milenkovic pushing forwards. Get us a 5th. Venturelli finds Leao to Ruggeri. His shot is blocked. It's back with Ruggeri. And Keane comes in, mops up the pieces, and away comes Edozie. He plays the ball forwards for Vlahovic, but Caprile out like the sweeper keeper that we want. Danger. Ooh. It's an interesting place to start a highlight as Keane comes away. We've got 1 minute left of the game. It's Keane. He's got away from his man Siklic. Keane Cut out by Venturelli. Good job, Venturelli. So Johnson says, I remember last season. Oh, it's going to get tight and tense. Bruno Fernandes with the corner. Into the far post. Hilgers rises high. Caprile had already dived before the header made contact. And it's 4-3. 4-3. Now, naturally, that's going to add time on to the end of the game. So if they do equalise now, I will complain that 5 minutes are up, even if I understand that actually it does make sense. Sends it forwards, Vlahovic, Fernandes, Beraldo. Just be sensible. Be sensible. Beraldo out to Ruggeri. That's good. Back safe. Beraldo back safe. Safe. That's all good. Right. We've now played like a good 45 seconds since full half. What a game. What a game. Oh, I need music. I need songs, because we're going to win the fucking league. We're going to win the fucking league. My word. Right. I'm happy. Is there going to be a tunnel interview? There is. Let's send the assistant to do the honours. Right, we're top of the league. Proof that we're going to win the league. And so, Johnson, you remember last season your friend would have won €800, but the referee blew the whistle right before Jude Bellingham scored the header. Oh, no. Oh, that is rotten. That is rotten. So, Bizzoa, I guess the subs did change the game. Does seem that way. It does seem that way. I very rarely praise players after performance, but I want to put my arm around George Elenikaina. I want to say, George, you were superb in front of goal last time out. Keep it up. He is my hero already. What a man. What a man. So the two players that came on at half time. There we go. So what I feel like I've learnt from this is that this might be my preferred, well, currently is my preferred setup. Our next game is going to be against Sassuolo. We're going to play in a 4-2-3-1. So we might learn something different against that particular formation, but we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. So Adam senses that Milan might be a lot of fun. It's certainly gotten off to a good start, hasn't it? That guy there, you turned away for 2 minutes and it was 2-2. The whole game was crazy. Absolutely crazy. 7 goals in the second half. None in the first half. Madness. Also, have you renamed Milan manually? I noticed Inter is still Blue Neri. Milan have never changed in my game. When the change came through, Milan were always Milan. Only Inter seemed to change for me for whatever reason. So I've never got round to picking up an updated name fix. I think the name fix has to have been in place before you start the game as well, doesn't it? Or not? I'm not sure. There we go. So Jonathan loves this complete forward support and advanced forward combo. I'm loving it too right now, that's for sure. So was there any important Super Cup final? There wasn't, Mr. Echo. That was our first ever competitive game in charge of Milan. Went all right. And funny enough, I love the exact same player, Elenikaina, on complete forward support. Well, I must thank whoever it was who signed him. So he was signed in the 27-28 season, which means it was our predecessor, Mikel, who's now at Chelsea. Thank you very much for providing me with George Elenikaina, who is listed as the key player, to be fair. So Bizzoa, Elenikaina, easily your man of the match. I mean, without a doubt. Zeep expects a jingle and accompanying dance by the next stream for Elenikaina. We do need one thing that I very much missed at Darmstadt was not having a dance to go with everything. non-negotiable, you can bugger off. So that's something I should talk about. We hired some coaches as well. We had an advert out for coaches. There were only a couple of Italians that played anything close to what I wanted. So let's have a look over here. We have now hired Massimo Innocenti, a football manager legend in his own right, mainly because he was Italian. He's going to be responsible for like being an extra body on technical. Our assistant manager is an extra body on tactical. I cover like everything outfield. We have Carlos Cuesta. Carlos Cuesta came in from Arsenal. Unemployed from the looks of things. Okay, Carlos Cuesta was unemployed. He likes a 4-4-2. He's going to be an attacking coach for us on the tactical side of things. Kevin De Bruyne is going to become a possession coach for us. This is his first job. Also likes a 4-4-2. Raul Pelaez was the one who was employed. He came from Athletic Club. So Pelaez is going to be our technical defensive coach. Samir Hupia, who came with us from Darmstadt, is our tactical defending coach. And then we've got Alessio Rubacini. He's the other Italian signing. He likes a 4-3-3, and he came from Wolves. And we finish it off with Milan Djuric, who's our technical attacking coach. His career history was he was our under-20s manager, but he likes a 4-2-4 diamond. So that's the main reason why he got the job. And we have a set-piece coach. Alex Clapham is a real person. I do tend to prefer real coaches if I can get them over new gens. He was at Roma. Yes, he was at Roma. So has experience in Italy as well. So felt like it made some sense in that regards. Also, just before we did things, I bought a whole load of transfer clauses. After the Kaiki transfer went through, I looked through to see there was a 40% of transfer fee for Bonato. Bonato's currently ranked around 20 million euros, so that would be like 8 million pounds alone. We bought that out for 5. There's a 30% of profit on Carmona, a 40% of profit on Siklic, 30% of profit on Vaskovic. That's why I'm mentioning it now, because we've just seen that bid come in from Vaskovic, and 30% on Vodcic. All players that I think are going to be part of our first team squad for at least the first couple of years, all likely to represent very, very large amounts of profit. So whilst we've got the money that's come in, we can buy off those clauses. So George, he thinks he's already won. I do. We have already won. I mean, if only we had Totti for that trequartista role. I mean, that's got to be the hope, right? Isn't it? That we will eventually uncover the Milan equivalent. Now, Leao, I've been really impressed with Leao in pre-season. Certainly feel like he's going to be good in that role. I think Xerxes should be good in that role. I've got a lot of hope for this Paolo Bonato. So he's already got elite flair, elite decision making. I think we've set his training up on passing, because if we can get elite passing and elite vision as well, then he would be absolutely incredible for that role. He doesn't have great teamwork, doesn't have great jumping or strength, so we don't really want him in and around the box. We just want to say, hey, do some magic stuff. So I have a lot of hope that Paolo Bonato is going to be potentially our long-term answer there. So Champagne, welcome in, my dude. Would be a crime if one of the songs won't be based on Sara Perche Ti Amo. I mean, it's a very, very difficult thing to... Like, it's always going to be quite tricky to rearrange words of songs in a language I don't speak. But we'll see what we can do. We can certainly see what we can do. But an offer in for one of our midfielders. His contract is... He's in the under-20s. He's 24 years old. Is he transfer listed? He's not transfer listed. Do the coaches think he's got a future? No. Right, okay, so let's transfer list him. Loan status, unavailable. Transfer status, transfer listed. Value they're saying is around 2. Let's push that up to 3 million. And then let's reject that offer. Hopefully someone will come in due course. There's how long left? 10 days or so on the window. Let's just see. Don't seem to be any closer on the report on Guglielmi. I appreciate it's only been 3 days since we last looked, to be fair. So Bruneri is still Inter for me, exactly. Adams, yeah, I don't know why it's only done one. Good evening, everyone. In my game, Napoli is different name, and AC Milan also has different name. Yeah, so I believe Napoli is Parthenope, isn't it? And AC Milan are Cassia Vitae. Oh, Juve too, probably as well. Oh, are they still Zebra? I mean, it's a great name, let's be fair. So you think the name fix depends on the location of the file? For example, the Brazil ones have to be fixed before the save, but some of them can be fixed anytime. Not sure about Bruneri, as I too haven't been asked to fix them. That's the thing, is at the end of the day, like, I look at the badge more than I do the name, and it all kind of becomes second nature. Right, Brignoni is part of our first team squad, so we'll reject that. Yeah, so Brignoni is 21 years old. He's our backup right centre-back. Wojcik is our backup left centre-back. He's 18 years old. And we have a fifth centre-back called DeFeo, who's 17. So we probably, like, if something comes up right towards the end of the transfer window, we're going to have the biggest pool of players we've had at any point. Because we took over at the summer, we only had like 100 players to begin with that had been scouted. So once we get right towards the end, we might be quite active because we'll have a bigger pool to work from. Maybe, hopefully, we'll be able to find 1 or 2 players that could come in as loans to give us just a bit more security and experience in that regard. So RJ, Zebra, Parthenope, right, Bruneri, what a shame. Mr. Echo, I see a lot of videos on YouTube how FM become boring. Same was for me until I took a break, and now I'm so excited. We'll return to the game as soon as I decide if I will have a 130-second journeyman save or pick a different challenge. I think, like, when it's been such a long period with the same game, it's always good to take a break. Tight calf, he should be okay for the game. Do we risk a tight calf? Home game against Sassuolo. I think we just pop him on the bench. Right, that guy there. Any chance of seeing how Chievo Verona are doing in your save, please? Might be under Clivense, depending on the database. I'm pretty certain Chievo are correctly named, because I'm sure I saw them in my Jazzman save. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, so let's go for Clivense. They are down as Clivense. No, that is Clivense. 2021, still in Serie D. Doesn't give us any history on them whatsoever. Let's try Verona. No, it is correct. There we go. Yeah, sorry. They've stuck around in Serie D and nothing particularly of any note. Right, so RJ makes me laugh when I see YouTube videos. I'm bored of FM. If FM24 was there, they would play 24/7 the same exact game with some different features. I think that there is always something like psychological about the aspect of a new game, is even if it has a very similar feature set, just that element of exploration of something new, learning some of the small little nuances. I get that can do a lot of wonders for people. I think that, you know, just if you're struggling with it, have a little bit of a break, come back for it when the moment feels right, when you get that energy. So Nicola's in, welcome in. Have the wages been tamed at all? We've had a few outgoings. We've managed to get rid of some players on 300 plus that €1,000 a week. So we've got rid of Mignon. We got rid of Kaiki as well. In place, we've got players in under 100,000. So it's slightly better, but not massively. But we've also now got 1 million euros in the wage budget, I think, still left over. Let's see. We came in, we were given a wage budget of like 600k. It's now up to 1.28 million. So we've got it under 5 million a week. I think that's progress, right? That's progress. Okay, so that guy there, it's Clevense is the name prior to them buying the naming rights back for Chievo Verona. That makes sense. That makes sense. So Wayne Wonder, welcome in, my dude. Welcome in. You're out the loop. Is this still the Darmstadt save? It is indeed. So we stepped down from Darmstadt at the end of last season. After 4 years in charge, we got back-to-back European spot finishes, but I had a falling out with the fans around Christmas time, and it felt like narratively it makes sense to weave that in. So we stepped down. We applied for the AC Milan job and the Tottenham job. AC Milan offered us a spot, which is marvellous. So we have literally just played our first competitive game with Milan. A 4-3 away win against Juventus. Juventus were 2-0 up within 5 minutes of the second half kicking off. There'd been no goals in the first half. And then we scored 4 goals in 12 minutes. And I'm very, very confused as to whether that means we're good or bad. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So yes, a safe pair of hands. Thank you very much. It was mentioned. Who scored the goal? Someone did mention who scored for Betis. It was Nathan, wasn't it? It was Nathan. See, oh yeah, RJ had already answered me on that one. Bloody fan power. You should have joined my beloved Spurs. We need it. I mean, you, Wayne, I've got to warn you now. There was a lot of Spurs hate when I was suggesting that I'd apply for the Spurs job. Chat did not like it. Chat did not like it. I mean, being the classy human being I am, I ignored them. But yeah, there was definitely some resistance to the idea. Well, I want to see. Do I want to see Bove or Bove likes to get forward? Nico doesn't, I don't think. He comes deep to get the ball. Right, okay, so let's try. As it's a home game, I want to see Bove, Gonzalez in that role and head of the midfield. Bajic will come in there. Baglieri we bought off because of the yellow card. Stick with Leao. Carmona probably deserves a start. But we'll see how it goes there. They've still got Bajrami. They've still got Pinamonti. I think Del Prato's there from the start of the game as well. Ncambadio is a goalkeeper we looked at. Was it Sassuolo who beat Roma? Was it Sassuolo who beat Roma? No, Sassuolo beat us. Sassuolo knocked Darmstadt out of the Conference League. And Ncambadio had a fantastic performance in both games. That's something for us to be mindful of. He's quite good. Right, so Dennis is in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you, sir? I'm doing very well. How's your weekend so far? RJ, even if in FM you can't win with Tottenham. I mean, we can. We can. I still don't know. I don't understand the animosity. Actually, it's mainly directed towards Daniel Levy, to be fair. Right, we're going to say we have to win. And we're going to say to Beraldo, I want you to perform well. Let's see how we go from this point onwards. Right, so Blue Baron never joined Spurs. See, it's happening again here. Catch 22, it is a diamond indeed. It is a diamond. We saw, as we were coming towards the end of our time with Darmstadt, we came up against a handful of teams that were playing a 4-4-2 diamond. And I thought it would make sense that our in-game manager would take inspiration from the events happening around him. So yeah, we brought the 4-4-2 diamond into our next job, and it feels fitting at AC Milan. Right, early stages, we've got momentum, but aren't creating chances. It's been one chance apiece. But here's Leao Plays it back to Baglieri. Baglieri across to Nico. Nico creates shooting space, takes a shot. I thought that came off Leao, but okay, we've got a corner. And that corner's going to be taken by Theo Hernandez. Swings it in, and Del Prato gets there. Leao cycles and Kawi. Good effort, lad. Good effort. Carden's in. Ollie, welcome in, my dude. I hope you're doing well. First stream you've managed to catch since you moved to Milan. I'm loving the save. Well, you'll be pleased to know that this is the third stream since we've got there, and only our second competitive game, as we've spent a lot of time doing admin. Me being slow. Who'd have thought it as Bove? Oh, not far off. So Dennis, you started with HIFK in Finland, second division. After season 1, you get the transfer embargo of 18 months, yep. Needless to say, I quit my save, and now since the afternoon looking for a new save, but to no avail. So difficult to find a club. I suppose, what is it that drew you to HIFK to begin with, Dennis? Is there another team in like maybe in Finland or maybe Sweden that's kind of similar, perhaps, that you could take inspiration? Elena Kane is in behind. How did he hit the post? It's okay. Spared blushes by the linesman's flag. What an awful miss. An awful, awful miss. Humphreys with a free kick. Milenkovic gets it clear, and it should be Baglieri to come away with it. Baglieri's got loads of space, but instead decides to dribble sideways. Okay. Here's Elena Kane now. Runs that channel. Elena Kane makes it 1-0. Elena Kane is he's too good. He's probably too good to be a cult hero. But Elena Kane is the man. Xerxes plays the ball, weighted very nicely. Elena Kane takes it in stride. There he is on his stronger left foot, firing across in Combadio, and that's 1-0. So RJ doesn't care about Spurs, just a sheep. I follow. Fair. Blue Baron. Unsurprisingly, Blue Baron is a Chelsea fan. That makes sense. FMG&G's never liked Spurs since Tim Duncan retired. Surely Spurs get a pass, like, as long as Pop is there, Spurs get a pass all the time. In fact, Mike has just said over on YouTube as well, he's a San Antonio Spurs fan, so I can't hate Tottenham. Sometimes fandom is just based on random things like that. Mike, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, and by extension a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, because the Cleveland Browns owner owned Aston Villa for a while. I have zero connection to Ohio. The Cleveland Browns owner doesn't own the Cleveland Cavaliers. He doesn't own the Cleveland Guardians. But they are now my teams, and I'm stuck with that. The Catch-22, you used to watch Elite Dangerous streams, and people would complain it was a boring game. One streamer nailed it when he said you need to add a little imagination and narrative. Nobody does that better in FM. Oh, bless you, Catch-22. Now, Elite, I feel very bad for admitting this, because I've had... That's a penalty. That's a penalty, clear as day. Just scythe down Xerxes. I've had Elite Dangerous in my Steam library for about, must be like 5 years. I've still not played it. I loved the original Elite games. Well, no, okay, did I love the original Elite games? Theo to take the penalty, 2-0. Boom. So for those that don't know, Elite is a space exploration and trade game that was around maybe late 80s, early 90s. Now, the version I certainly had, when you start the game, you don't have automatic docking facilities. So you have to line your plane up to dock inside these big space trading stations. And the space trading stations would rotate because they're in space, they're moving constantly. And so you'd have to kind of rotate your own spacecraft at the right speed whilst trying to dock. And as like a 10-year-old, I couldn't do that. I absolutely couldn't do that. So I've played a lot of Elite, and most of Elite has involved me starting a game, messing up the very, very first chance I get to dock, and dying, and then that game stops and I have to start the game again. But it was fun trying, right? So that counts for something, I think. Right, Theo with the corner to the far post, and Combadio easily gathers. Momentum certainly, that's looking positive, isn't it? That's looking quite nice. So Ollie's gone for Elena Kane to the tune of Macarena. Perfect. That's what I was saying earlier. So that means it's a good idea. You have confirmed it for me, my dude. So Dennis, what you're looking for is a team to build and make a machine of. So Belgium, England, Spain, or Italy. I think like in Italy, there's a lot of fallen giants down in those lower divisions that could be quite exciting for something like that. You could restore them and then build them as well. As Kari comes away, he sends it forward to Elena Kane. Elena Kane is in behind Elena Kane. Oh, don't harsh my buzz, ref. Giuseppe Colu. You're the man. You're the man, Giuseppe. Well, VAR people are. Here's Kari. Takes a look up, sends the ball over the top. Elena Kane takes it on his right foot, strikes it with his left foot. So, Mr. Echo, your cat joined you watching stream, and now she falls asleep. I think she likes your voice, lol. I think, Mr. Echo, that also sounds like you're stuck there now for the next 2 hours. You're not allowed to move. You're barely allowed to breathe. I mean, that is the perfect way to spend a Saturday night, though, isn't it? Like, just sitting back, relaxing, cat in lap. Bliss. Well, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. We're going to say as much as well. Milenkovic's yellow card does worry me a little bit, so we are going to... We're 3-0 up, so we might as well make the change there. Otherwise, let's go into the second half. Hopefully, more of the same. Thank you, by the way, guys, for the hydrate. Mr. Echo as well. Thank you for the bingo. We will play it. So after this game, we're going to have a break. When we come out of the break, we'll then play a round of bingo, which will be hopefully good. So Ollie, you did a RFC Liège save in Belgium. Was really fun trying to topple the other teams. That sounds like a great game. Okay, can we get it clear? Bove just hoofs it up the field. And maybe that's a chance for us to turn it round. Here's Leao. Feeds Baglieri back to Brignoni. Brignoni's got time on the ball now. He's got time. He looks up, finds Kari. Kari inside to Bove. And here we come. Xerxes feeds Elena Kane on for a hat-trick. He fires just wide. Just wide. Mr. Echo suggests Real Sociedad. That's a great suggestion. So Dennis was looking at RFC Liège. Seems like it's meant to be. Eddie, is it a 4x game? I don't know. I suppose it kind of... There's not really any of the conquering part of the 4x side of things. It is an absolute great game. Xerxes at the far post. Oh, having a trequartista who can head. That is something interesting. Baglieri feeds Leao. Leao has to come out of the box. Back to Baglieri. He sends it into the far post. Xerxes rises. This is good. So Blue Baron says Elite Dangerous is okay. I don't know why people hated on it so much. I get the impression that not quite as bad as, say, No Man's Sky, but I got the impression that it released in as not as good a state as people were expecting, I think is the polite way of putting it, right? Right, next change, Theor and Ruggieri on, because they're the players most tired. Pardon me. So RJ's a Warriors fan. You before the Wings, yeah, the Monty Ellis era. I believe you. I completely believe you. You glory hunter. I can't even say that about being a Cavs fan. I'm a Cavs fan because of the Aston Villa, the Cleveland connection. But technically, I became a Cavs fan just after LeBron James joined. So, you know, that does make me a glory hunter in some regards, even if I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Here's Xerxes. Drives forwards, Fabiano, great tackle. Just 10 minutes or so left to go. Send the ball long. Pinamonte wins the header. Here comes Humphreys. Humphreys caused us loads of problems for Darmstadt last season. Carboni scored the winner across those two legs. It was 1-0 at Darmstadt and then 0-0 in Sassuolo. Bajrami to take the corner. He's going to send it to... Oh, that's a low, flat corner. And it comes to nothing. Throw in now. Here's Carboni once more. Into Humphreys and back to Fiaschini. Fiaschini loses out to Nico. And here we can pour forwards. It's Bove now. Elena Kane is on the run. Elena Kane has been found. Elenikena. Right, to Ruggieri. Ruggieri going to send the cross in and it's cleared by Fabiano. Beraldo gathers. Beraldo inside to Thior. Fresh on as a substitute. He finds Bove. Nico takes aim from distance. That's harmlessly wide. We've got 2 stoppages left. Stoppage number 1 is going to be Xerxes off for Bernardo. He's wound up apparently. You can deal with it. So Bluebound, you still need to rotate now. We do need to. Well, I mean, so we are going to bring players in and around as we can, but also we need to make sure that our players are fit. We do need to add some friendlies for our under-20s for midweek because they play at the same time as we do. So that does kind of restrict some of the things that we can do with our reserve players to keep them fit. We're going with Fataru on. We're going double advance forward. We want 1 player on support, so he's going to become an Ungonch. Bernardo to Elenikena. Elenikena. We're taking him off on 2 goals. We're mean like that. Sets up Bove. 5 would be nice, right? So Catch when it can confirm Sleeping Cat seatbelt must be respected. It's a classic. Luke says Elite was an unreal game, crashing into the stations or getting brave and shooting at a ship to be instantly destroyed. Oh god, yes. Oh god, yes. Yeah, I can do fighting. I used to play quite a bit of Wing Commander as well, and I wasn't bad at Wing Commander for a young teen at least. As Rafael Leao turns it in, is that onside though? Is that onside? The players don't look to be celebrating. They walked off pretty damn quickly. That's disallowed. That's a shame. Xerxes scores. I thought this was a sim. You just need a really good manager to get the best out of him. That's all that was missing. So Mr. Echo confirms he is now a worm as a result. Like the the cat just has him stuck still. Thank God it's a Saturday evening. Welcome in Coatiba. It's half time. Probably the worst 0-0 ever. Oh dear. Oh dear. At least the ticket prices have got cheap, right? Cool. There we go. 4-0. Pretty solid. I mean, I can't complain about any of that. I'm delighted. Right, and that timing is actually sensational because the ad starts in about 10 seconds. So I will see you guys in about 3 minutes. When we come back, we're going to play a little bit of bingo and then crack on with the save. See you shortly. And we're back. Welcome back. I am getting confused by all the buttons. There we go. So, we had a little redeem of a mini-game about 16 minutes ago. I do apologise, Mr. Echo, as we were in the middle of the match. So we're now going to play a little bit of bingo. Now, for those guys that aren't normally in the stream, haven't seen this before, I will explain how it works. That link in chat will take you to the playfootball.games website where you'll be able to join the room. Every player gets a unique bingo card with 16 squares. In those squares, you have clubs, you have nations, you have competitions, and you have awards. Your job is you're going to get a list of 60 players, one after the other, and you need to assign them to a square. So if a player, let's say you get Cristiano Ronaldo, and on your bingo card is the Juventus badge, you might go, right, Cristiano Ronaldo played for Juventus, let's pop him there. Now, the players aren't necessarily going to match any squares. They might match multiple squares. It ultimately comes down to your knowledge. If they don't match anything, give it a skip. You do get only 10 seconds, though, to make your decision. So if you don't make a decision within 10 seconds, it automatically skips it for you, moves you on to the next player. So we will give it about another 90 seconds or so. And once that happens, we'll then pop into the game. Cool. I will try and catch up a little bit. So RJ, long story short, you was a Ball fans like everyone else in Europe in Jordan's era. That makes sense. When he stopped, I need another team and not a player. Warriors was that. That makes sense. That makes sense indeed. Blue Baron, you need to rotate in elite. Right, okay, yes. Yeah. That's like a 9-year-old. I generally try. I just was never able to match it up. So Carden, are we in any European competitions? We are. Milan are in the Champions League. They finished second last season in Serie A. So there is the opportunity that we might have that to contend with as well, which would be quite cool. So Mr. Echo, we will look up Messi as well. Yes, obviously he won't be a player anymore. El Norby's in. Welcome in, my dude. Lovely to see you. How are you? D, what a blast. Elite Dangerous, Wing Commander, Sword of the Stars, some days. The golden age of gaming, right? The golden age. Welcome back in, Blue Lions. Yes, we've played a whole 2 games. I'm going in an amazing pace by my standards. And we also have an FM console in. How are you doing, console? Lovely to see you, my dude. Lovely to see you. How is life treating you? Cool. We're about to start this game of bingo. About 10 seconds or so before I click the big start button. And then there's a little countdown in the game itself. So John said, let's see if you can complete the hat-trick of bingos here. I mean, that would be incredible. You are putting us all to shame with your knowledge. A hat-trick of wheat. So last, we played a little bit earlier. We played around earlier. No one got bingo then. So it is a very, very elite club right now. Right, Usman Dembele. I mean, I could click on this. I'm going to let the time run out in the first few so that you guys don't get information ahead of time about what players are going to come up. So I'm going to do the same with Ivan Toney as well. Though I don't think Ivan Toney matches any of these anyway. Florent Malouda. Interesting. After the third one, I then start to play, generally speaking. Although I must confess, my Pablo Sarabia knowledge is pretty close to non-existent. Get that one in just in time there. Right, Kalidou Koulibaly. That's another player that's got some Saudi Arabian connection. I'm going to see if there's anything on that front. There isn't. A Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. What a player Van Bronckhorst was. What a player Van Bronckhorst was. What a player David Platt was, to be fair, as well. Although I don't think he matches any of these. Certainly hasn't won the World Cup. Pablo Barrios. I know nothing about Pablo Barrios' career. I recognise the name. That is about it. Kelechi Iheanacho. Okay, that one should be a relatively easy one to play. So I'll wait for that to come down, and there we go. Filip Kostic. Now, I would assume that if you just said to me Filip Kostic, I would have said he's Serbian. But I don't feel confident about it once suddenly put under this kind of pressure. Edouard Mendy. So when Mendy joined Chelsea, like that, those first 6 months, he was sensational. absolutely incredible. And I don't quite understand how it went downhill so quickly. Right, Maxi Rodriguez. Maxi. We will wait a little bit and pop him the most amount of Rodriguez. The most amount of Rodriguez. Kasper Schmeichel's played in a lot of places. But I'm going to let that one run because I'm not sure if he's played in any of those places. Jesus Navas, I'll quickly go to Sevilla. He surely won the Europa League with them as well, so that might have possibly been the better option there. Nzonzi. I don't know enough about his career outside of Stoke. Marcus Alonso will give that one a pass. Did he play with Fabregas? I'm giving that a pass. Luis Suarez. The 1987 Suarez, that is. So that means I'm going to go for Liverpool. Nice, easy one there. Mika Richards. Mika Richards. We will let that one go. Nahul Molina. He feels like a Europa League winner. I have absolutely no idea. I don't think I've ever known a Europa League winner. So I will let that one run. Matic had to have played with Fabregas at some point, right? Diogo Dalot, we can play in Portugal. Leandro Paredes. Not confident on that at all. Gonçalo Ramos, I'm not confident on with any of these answers either. Lars Bender. What a name. What a name. Riyad Mahrez. Why can't I have like Premier League in here? Or like all of these squares be Leicester? That'd be nice. Or Saudi Arabia. That's the third player that I know has a Saudi Arabia link in there. Champions League for Phil Foden. Emre. There's a classic. Am I going to be baited into going for the Turkish club? I am indeed. Diego Forlan. Was he managed by Simeone at Athletic? We're going with it. We're going with it. Kolo Touré, we're skipping. Yusuf Fofana, I'm skipping. William Saliba, I'm skipping. Pape Matar Sarr. Ismaila Sarr. How many other Sarrs? Bouna Sarr next? So Jeremy. I really like Jeremy. Like, that Middlesbrough team back then, like when they were just bringing through European star after European star, was incredible. David De Gea, was he like part of the squad at least for the World Cups? We're going with it. Fernando Torres. I should have played that there. Nelson Semedo must have played in Portugal at some point, right? 93 Ederson. Skipping on that. Fernando Gago. Sergio Romero. Milot Rashica. Goran Pandev. Iniesta. Did Alexis end up at Atletico Madrid? Feel like he might have done. But that might just be because it's there on the board and that's making me question all things. Pepe Reina. Gael Clichy. Leonardo Bonucci. Julio Baptista. William Gallas. Martin Braithwaite. Bojan. I don't think he is, but I'm starting to run out of players now. I haven't seen any Eastern European names come up in recent ones. Phil Jones, Fernando Muslera, Robinho, quite famously played for Atletico Madrid and Internazionale, right? That was a bad round. That was a bad round for me. Oh, GNG, just one off a bingo, sir. Just one off a bingo. Oh, so close. So close. There are still a couple of people playing, so we could have a bingo yet. We could have a bingo yet. So, okay, relative motion is your friend. It is. Explain that to an 8 or 9-year-old though. That would be tricky. So Console's going to do a video tonight on designing a sun. Nice. So 33 points, pretty solid. The best people, Console, get 33 points. That's how it works. We don't want to get all of them right. So Zeep, to sum it up, I've completely fucked it that round. Fair enough, Zeep. Okay, yeah, I see. I see indeed. Combative Skipper, welcome in, my dude. How are you? Lovely to see you. I agree, that guy there, it was certainly tough. I'm going to claim that all of us were unlucky. Everyone else got a nicer board, right? But that's 5 points. Top spot for FMG&G with 15 out of 16 correct. Joint second is Adam on the break and Johnson. Then in fourth, we've got Iniesta. And that means we've got 4 people in joint fifth, all getting a point. That's Eddie de Olives, Mr. Echo, El Norby, Bardakchi. Sensational work, guys. Sensational. Right, so let's have a look to see what's going on with Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is a manager. He's unemployed. So let's start off with the end of his playing career. That's a half season there. 16 games, 9 goals, 13 and 14. A great final season. 14 goals, 13 assists and 36 appearances. Pretty damn good. And then he's been a manager since. Oh. Wow. So Lionel Messi is a manager. He's been a manager for 6 years and has 0 jobs in that time. Bless him. That would never happen. Like, if Lionel Messi said, I want to be a manager, he would be hired like that for sure. So Johnson, did you find out who you missed? Ended up with about 5 players left and 3 squares to fill. So ended up with Bojan to play in the Belgian league and Robinho for Porto. That's how it happens, isn't it? That is how it happens, unfortunately. Right, so Zeep took too long on the first player. Ended up with Ivan Toney accidentally as a Champions League winner. Oh, I never recovered from that. I mean, that's when you tilt, isn't it? Like, once you do that with the very, very first, one of the very, very first goes, you're kind of like, I'm screwed. I might as well just hit anything. Adam, you should be pretty happy for a first go. That's sensational. Sensational. Demir Sir Jeremy at Real Madrid. That's elite ball knowledge. That is indeed. Johnson ended up with about 5. Yep, sorry, I did read that. It's 2-2. Jovic has scored. The comeback. See, Milan are taking inspiration from our first game. Evidently, okay, so I rejected a loan offer earlier because I wanted him transfer listed. Evidently, we already had one in the works. My bad. That's fine. He's got 2 years left on his contract anyway, so maybe getting some regular game time can help push his value up. So that could maybe work in our favour. You thought Dalot was at Inter? I mean, that sounds right, surely. Johnson, wrong Milan side, unfortunately. And Mr. Echo says it was hard as well. It was. There was. I mean, I find most rounds hard, to be fair. FM console, it's not ninth. It's not ninth. It is first. Everyone knows that whatever score I get is the target. Sicolo Toure didn't play in Belgium. I swear he played there before Belgium, but mixed him up with Aboué. Didn't Colo Toure play in Belgium? I feel like Colo Toure did play. Did he not? I'm with you on that one. I think he did play in Belgium. Or maybe he never played there. Maybe he was in Belgium but still too young. That's a nickname. Sign Messi as your assistant. We've already hired all our staff spots, and only relatively recently as well. So we've literally gone through and done that. So we've only just taken over at Milan. So I'm not going to be sacking anyone right now, but maybe somewhere down the line, perhaps. Messi is like Zidane, Barca or nothing. I mean, that would be fair. That would kind of make sense. Loan offers, we've got someone dealing with it. He said yes, so that's fine. We still haven't had that report back on Guglielmi, have we? We're up to reasonable knowledge. They're calling him a D grade. Let's see what the attributes are looking like at the moment. So there's probably still some to be revealed. Doesn't look bad. Like Pucci's gone out on loan. Arsman prefers Xerxes over Mbappe. Agreed. Absolutely. Who's that Mbappe fellow anyway? Who's that Mbappe fella? So Zerachal says you always miss out on the Europa and UEFA Cup winners. I hate those categories. Even the Champions League ones or like top goal scorer ones. Get rid of them all. Get rid of those categories completely. John says Hanover save. You've drawn Newcastle in the Conference League qualifiers. Surely corruption. That is awful. That is horrible. How on... Yeah, that is rotten. Rotten. I suppose maybe next year then. Hopefully next year. Write it off. You don't have to worry about Europe for a season. Players for under 20s match. What are the rules? Cannot have more than one player aged over 21. So, Benato is 23. Siklic is 21. Let's get some of these. Carmona is 19. Venturelli is 21. De Feo, Wojcik, Brignoni is 20. So those are the players that should be in the game. Brignoni, Wojcik, De Feo, Barbieri, Carmona. And then the player over 21 can be Fatawu. And now they will ignore all my suggestions and none of them will get game time. The standard way, right? So console, according to Wikipedia, he went straight from ASEC Mimosas. Okay, fair enough. I did not realise that. Yaya played in Belgium. That makes sense. Adam says, I feel like bingo should be renamed the Mandela Effect minigame. I'm completely on board with that. So RJ says a lot of Ivory Coast players played in Belgium, Beveren mainly, but not Colo. I have this really, really vivid, like Adam says, like a Mandela effect. I have this really, really vivid memory of signing Colo Touré from one of those Belgian clubs in an FM, and that's clearly not a thing that happened. All made up in my head. So Eboué played for Beveren. They had an Ivorian army for a few years. Were Beveren associated with ASEC Mimosas? I swear there were a couple of feeder club relationship type things going on. Right, we've got our Champions League fixtures. We will play away games against Benfica, RB Salzburg, Dynamo Zagreb, RB Leipzig. Home games against Shakhtar, Luzern, Barcelona and Bayer Leverkusen. I feel that's pretty favourable. Can we sort by... What kind of sorting is that? 79, 4, 4... Oh, rookie error, FM. Rookie error. So it's sorting by the first digit rather than the overall number. Probably because it's considering it a text field. So we'll do it by pot instead. Barcelona 4th, Benfica 11th, Bayer Leverkusen 15th. So Bayer Leverkusen as a pot 2 team seems a bit unlucky. Perhaps the same with RB Leipzig as well. Pot 3, I think we've done okay. Pot 4 obviously are going to be relatively easy games anyway, so that's kind of okay. Did Fernando Torres play for Milan, or is that just another Mandela effect? I don't feel like Torres played for Milan. I don't recall that. He did? Did he now, Adam? There we go. Mr. Echo says Mamardashvili carried Valencia and made life easier for Barca, but now Barca still won all with Betis. But that's still 1 point more than Real Madrid have got this weekend, potentially. I did see that Mamardashvili said that he had a little bet with Vinny Jr. and Vinny Jr. apparently owes him €50 now. FM Console says, I've put you in a rabbit hole with that site, only connect footballers, lol. I'm sorry, my dude. But also, what a great way to spend a Saturday evening. Football-related rabbit holes are great. John said, yep, that's what you thought as well. Played it safe and got Pepe Reina anyway. That is probably a much safer choice. You thought Van Bronckhorst played for AC? You forgot that Kasper Schmeichel played for Nice? You got UEFA Cup winner before 2009, Jesus Navas. That's pretty strong knowledge. Pepe Reina is a cheap code for this, and football tic-tac-toe as well. Such an incredible career path. And that's where I like someone like Nicolas Anelka, right? Because Nicolas Anelka has played for 400 clubs, which is brilliant. El Norby usually struggles with UEFA Europa League winners as well. I'm glad we all do. I'm glad we all have this shared hatred almost. Come on, get these guys at full knowledge. In fact, right, okay, so I wouldn't mind a third choice goalkeeper. Maybe if we can see someone who's experienced, maybe transfer listed. 22 years old, is not experienced, but he has asked to leave. Matej Kovar, now 31-year-old, he wouldn't want to be a backup. And when he's valued at 63 million, we are not considering him. Right back options. So Filippo Ballerini is a relatively new player to appear up here. Let's have a look there. Gets forward whenever possible, knocks ball past opponent. Kind of okay physically. Natural fitness being low is a bit annoying, but nothing majorly to be concerned about. Can't do any of the tackling, and that they're all non-trainable things, so that is a concern. Let's have a look here. Fairly susceptible to injuries. That I'm not keen on. Not going to spend 90 million or 50 million or 26 million on a 29-year-old. So Profundi, we need to speak and try and settle things with his agent potentially. Bradley's injured. Hakimi's worth 71 million. Yankutu's at 32. Giorgio D'Alessio, 5 million euros. Hasn't had a good start so far. Hashimi's been playing he's been playing as a left back, so probably inverting. Right, can't jump, can't head, not the most important thing. I mean, it does help defending far post crosses and stuff, but not that dreadfully important. Good otherwise there. Another fullback that can't dribble, but he can cross. So as long as we can get them in space, that's fine. Good decision making, good anticipation. Off the ball's not great. Good at progressive passes. Quite low down for open play key passes there, really. So I'm not feeling all that enthusiastic there. League Braulio Crespo. I think we looked at him last time. Can't jump, can't head. Absolutely fine there. Can't pass, can't dribble, can't cross. That's a no. Right, let's hold out for that scout report. We're not getting any bids on any of our other players, so that's all right. I don't think we need to plan too much ahead for that. Bayit's developing concerns. You want to play first team foot. So there's been 2 games this season. You've played one of them. and you decided to come and bitch. I think his contract up in like quite a while. Yeah, he's got quite a few years on there. Oh, okay, cool. I don't need to tell him to bugger off. That's always a positive. So let's see. So Eddie, yeah, Bevan had a TD called Jean-Marc Gillout, so a technical director, and he owned the ASEC Mimosas Academy. There we go. It makes sense. Torres went to Milan from Chelsea before he went back to Atleti. There you go. There you go. John says 2-0 up versus Newcastle after the first half. Both absolutely horrid mistakes from them, but I'll take it. Okay, Conference League. Here we come, Johnson. Incredible. Gervinho played in Bevan. I do remember that. Vinny owes Mamadashvili €50. Celta Mallorca referee owes me €150. I mean, yeah, fair. Right, Johnson, I always think on third choice goalkeepers, the main priority target should bar that they're homegrown at club or at least nation. Indeed. It depends. If both of my keepers were Italian, I wouldn't mind too much. But also, if we have to take someone from the youth academy, we'll just take someone from the youth academy right now. Hopefully, we won't need to worry about that, he says. Kindergarten simulator, indeed. Ideally, a good mentor. So this is kind of where I would love us to have right now. Our third choice goalkeeper, I would like to be about 36 years old, and maybe already started his coaching courses. Someone that we could potentially move on eventually. Someone who's got good enough mentals that they're probably not going to make a horrendous error if they are called upon. Their knees might not work. They might not be able to reach for shots like in the corners, but they could just kind of like stand there and be semi-reliable. That's my ideal third choice goalkeeper. But our scout, part of the not being here for very long, we're just going to have to wait until we've built up that repertoire of players, it looks like. FM bitching, always fun. FM bitching is always fun. Especially when there's dumb shit like that. Johnson, I think the perfect example of a third choice goalkeeper is Tom Heaton at United. I think that's a fair shout. Talking about shouting. Cool. Malek Thior is out for 2 months. So we can realistically consider that at least 2.5, maybe 3 months in terms of getting him back up to fitness. That'll take you to August, September, October, November. Might be okay to play a little bit in December time. And then he'll get the kind of season break as well. So there's our new priority. Here's a defensive midfielder. How about Unai Ruiz? Just 181 million. Nothing stands out about him being that good. Okay, but yeah, that's not serious. I wasn't looking at Unai Ruiz seriously. João Neves likes to get forwards whenever possible, likes to try to beat offside trap. Okay, he's a bit too attacking for a defensive midfielder, potential anchorman. So yeah, that's not the option. Demi Roja, a 23-year-old deep-lying playmaker, tries killer balls often, likes to switch ball. I'm fine with that. Physically okay. Defensively, I'd really like someone who's at least elite at probably at least some of the mental aspects defensively. Good passing and vision is great. Low flare, not the worst thing for an anchor. Nothing excites me there. Nothing excites me about Roja. How about Isaac Johansson? He's described as a Mazzala. Gets forward. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. We can always play Nico back there, to be fair. So I suppose that's an element. Sherbs is in. Welcome in, Sherbs. How you doing, my dude? How's it going? You just watched a Zweite Bundesliga game. Who were you watching? So we've won our first 2 games. We came from 2-0 down away against Juventus to win 4-3. And then our first home game was a 4-0 win over Sassuolo. So it's okay. Jack, load stream. You've decided to become a bitch. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Welcome in, Jack. Lovely to see you. Chesney. Can you imagine how old would Chesney be now? Is he a coach? He's got to be a coach, surely. He's a coach for young boys. 41. He's only 41. He was still playing up until the 27-28 season. Fair enough. Right, Vitinha. He's experienced 425 euros per week. Doesn't tell me what an estimated wage would be, so we can ignore that. 300k per week for Enzo. That's not going to be a consideration. Paulo Mimbela. Massive wages aren't going to be a consideration either. Lewis Ferguson is a ball-winning midfielder. I think of him as a, far more attacking player than that. So that's not a consideration. How about an 18-year-old Swiss player that's wanted by RB Leipzig? I'm sure he's got a lot of promise, but that's not what we need right now. Another 18-year-old, 130 grand, Leon Avdullahu. Deep-lying playmaker for Stuttgart. Good decision-making is promising. Good passing, good composure, good anticipation. Tries killer balls, looks for passes. Nothing about him getting forwards. That's a good sign. It's only 2 games, but he's won all his tackles so far. So he has been getting goals. That's not a priority for us. Has been getting assists. 55 million. I'm not sure he's the right player for us. So we'll let's add him to that shortlist, but I doubt that's going to be the answer. Ryan Gravenberg, again, is a player I expect will be far too attacking. If he's already on 190 euros a week, that's definitely not a consideration. 23-year-old Steven Van Ingen, beautiful hair. Gets forward, not interested in that. Braunoda gets forward. Guy Kuau was a player who came up in that right back list. Plays short, simple passes, marks opponent tightly. Plays no through balls, I'm not keen on. Those attributes I'm not keen on. You can pass that. Kudus isn't going to be the man we want. So let's just... Sorry, I do need to catch up a little bit here. Johnson, you got a 3-0 win in the end. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. And Sega's in. Welcome in. Lovely to see you, my dude. Glad to finally be able to make it to a stream. Had to go back to school after an ice break. It's a shame, isn't it? School gets in the way of having fun. Right, Sofian Earlbear, another Monaco player. 1-2 long-range passes. I'm fine with those. Lacks strength, lacks jumping, can't tackle. Not awful, but not 54 million euros worth. On initial look, at least. How about Gagliardi? We could sign him from our cross-stadium rivals. Lacks bravery. I don't like players in central positions with low bravery. Micheletti at Juventus, 11 million to 16. Keeps things very simple. Can't tackle, is slow. Can't pass. That's a no. I don't like that name. And he's too raw. What an awful name. John Zeragaba. Perfectly fine physically. Good bravery, bad marking, bad positioning, bad aggression. That's also a no. Coffee, 89 million. João Gomes, 36 million, 125k per week. Our knowledge isn't full on him. We're going to pass on that. 17-year-olds we're going to pass on. Players on loan we're going to pass on. Starting to get into the dregs here. Mamadou Sarr. That wouldn't have been my initial thought. He can't pass, so that's definitely not part of my plans. Right, so John, so from what you've heard, he's a good Szczesny's a good guy in the dressing room, especially in training. Obviously experienced player and came through the United Academy. So that's not Szczesny. Who are we talking about there? I do apologise, John. Sir, you're talking about Tom Heaton. Sorry. Yeah, like that is perfect. The idea of having someone who would count towards your homegrown quota is incredible at 36 years old. Daniel Ballard could be a consideration. We're only at reasonable knowledge, unfortunately, there. Nicolas Capaldo is going to be far too attacking minded as well. Nicolas Capaldo is a player I like, but yeah. Demi Roja might be the best option. Where are we at? We're at extensive currently on Enzo. Runs with ball through the keeper is not great. My aversion to spending big. I say that, we spent 45 million on a goalkeeper, but how long is Wrench out for? Is that a consideration? 7 weeks? That's definitely not a consideration. Let's go have a look at maybe some of those more attacking players. Maybe left-footed, in fact, actually. Okay. I've got a thought. Players that are strong on their left foot, we consider Nico as the defensive midfielder from here on in. Then we look at someone that can play a little bit further ahead. And then maybe that's where we consider some of these not quite complete. So what was the deal with Micheletti? He can't pass. We're not looking at Micheletti. Marco Nania, 18 years old, low self-belief. A long way off. Tommaso Pizzata doesn't look to me like he's going to be a Carolero type, and he isn't. So the Italian options aren't great. What's the deal with Jose Velasquez? We're being recommended a 15-year-old. Well, we're not. He's C grade. So Yanis Thirion, the Belgian advanced playmaker. He can't do any of the defensive stuff. That kind of makes sense. Demi Roja comes up. He can pass. Doesn't have flair. He can do all the defensive stuff. He doesn't dribble with the ball. He's right-footed, but strong left foot. He has not made the grade at PSG whatsoever. At Ajax, he was never more than a bit part player. Let's have a look at Isaac Johansson again, as probably far too attacking. He's very one-footed as well, which kind of puts me off. Anthony Bertha. Let's have a look at the deal with Anthony Bertha. Can't tackle, can't position himself, can't mark. That's no. We looked at Van Ingen earlier. What was the deal? What was the limitations with Van Ingen? Aggression, jumping, heading. Very injury prone. Very injury prone. Covers a lot of distance. Good key passes. Good progressive passes. Didn't play many games at all. Volendam. It's not set the world alight. The injuries are a concern there. Looked at Pizzata. Damsgaard's not going to be able to do the defensive stuff. He's playing in League One. We're not going to consider Damsgaard. We will take part in transfer deadline day. See what agents bring our way, potentially. So, Sherbs, you watched Hertha. 1-0 win. Rescored a screamer. Nice. Nice. So, Sega, last time you were able to tune in, you were still at Darmstadt in your first season in the Bundesliga, drawing every match. What has happened? So, our first season in the Bundesliga, we finished 7th. Got into Europe. Second season, we got to the semi-finals of the Conference League, lost to Sassuolo, finished 7th in the league again, but decided to step down. So we stepped down after the second season of the Bundesliga, applied for the job at AC Milan, and here we are now. So we are only 2 games into our AC Milan spell. So Gaetano Guglielmi, we're looking for a right back. Can't jump, poor low fitness, but he can head, great bravery, decent defensively. He can dribble, he can cross, good technique, can't pass. Fairly susceptible to injuries. Bufundi is not susceptible to injuries. Can't dribble, can't tackle, can't mark, can't head, can't concentrate. Oh, I don't know. Since 2026, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 injuries. No longer than 4 weeks out at most. And that's in 5 years. So roughly 3 injuries per season. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Most of them are a week or less. I'm going with it. I think we'll give that, we'll take a swing. 14 million, really, really low wages. Let's see how it goes. Maybe. Cool. So let's have a look here. Mike, youth coach Chesney, the guy who smokes in the locker room. That would go well. You've got to teach. Smoking's a dying art, Mike. You've got to teach them how to smoke nowadays. Abdullahu, right? We'll go with it. 55 mil. I don't know. Welcome on in, guys. Welcome on in. Thank you very much for the raid. I'm MustermannFM. We're currently with AC Milan. How was the watch along? It was. Oh, what was the game you were watching? It was Charlotte. Charlotte versus. Oh, can I remember who the other team were? Nah, I can't. What was the other team that were playing tonight? It was Charlotte, right? Firstly, have I got 50% of it right, or am I completely wrong? Welcome in, Bizarre. Charlotte versus Nashville. There we go. So now, if you guys don't know, the Something About Soccer podcast is relatively new. Been running now for what, just over a month or so. Absolutely fantastic. Based on in the States. It's got the wonderful Dill 40k, Bizarro Brigades and pixelated suits. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful stuff. Worth checking them out over on Twitch. They do their watch-alongs, but also worth checking them out on YouTube as well. Which they've got some fantastic podcasts up already. Even if Bizarro wants to make horrendous comments about Kevin De Bruyne, because he's wrong. He's absolutely wrong. Welcome in, guys. So yeah, Leon Abdullahou. Maybe he is the option. Good at pressures. I want possession one more than I do pressures for an anchor man. Good at interceptions, or okay at interceptions. Just, he's too attacking. Too attacking for what I'm... Well, maybe as that Carolero type perhaps instead. 55 million is a lot to spend on a player I'm not convinced by. I'm gonna hold out. I'm going to hold out and see what happens on transfer deadline day. Right, Guglielmi, our possible solution at right back, rated a D by the scouts. There is no 35k on offer. We come down to 20. We say a 4-year contract. You then say you want a sell-on fee, and I say no. I say 22. I've got to stop being such a tight bastard, right? I've got to stop being such a tight bastard. So Catch22 asks, do you all actually keep 3 keepers on your first team? I just treat my reserve under 23 keeper as my third. Usually, my reserve goalkeeper will be my second choice goalkeeper would be my reserves goalkeeper. So I like having that third for when there's clashes, and I like having someone experienced. However, with the club we've got at the moment, with AC Milan, we've already got a backup who's 29. I'd still like experience, because if I've got promising youth players that would have been third choice, I'd rather they go out on loan and get some experience. Oh, bugger. Oh, bugger. Right, Profundi, can we speak to you again? Let's put bid in for 11 million. Was that what we had accepted last time? Evidently so. Will they speak to us? They will speak to us. That's good. That's good. Fringe player, squad player, regular starter. That's not true. You would be a squad player right off the start. 58,000 is decent. 50,000 there. Let's try 50,000, 5-year contract. You go up to 61. I say 55. I can't let another one break down, can I? 60 grand is amazing. This team's been spending 300 grand a week on players in that first team squad. We've got over $1 million left over in the wage budget. No, Atlanta, you can't have him back though. So we're going to sign a right back that can't defend. It's worked out okay for like Trent, so we can run with that. Grow, welcome in. How about asking the director of football for suggestions? So far, I have done in the past. All the suggestions have been very young, but we'll do that on transfer deadline day, I think. Right, so bear me one moment. John, sir, you generally got happy semi-recently when you saw some kids smoking instead of vaping. Incredible stuff. Incredible. The lost art of smoking. I mean, that said, you know I'm going to be doing that in a moment, so there we go. So that guy there says, see if he's available for a loan or not, or optional buy clause. So we can certainly do so with, well, as I say, my issue with Abdullah, if that's who you're talking about, is that he's not the profile of player that I'm particularly interested in. He's not really a Carolero or an anchor. So as I said, let's see what gets mentioned to us by agents on transfer deadline day. Let's use the mechanics that come with transfer deadline day. See if any of that can be useful. RJ, you're now in a club that can pay 300k per month, but still don't want to pay 25k for a right back. I'm a tight-fisted bastard. I just how it is. RJ, 1-1 full time, only 1 point for Barca. 1 point closer to the title though. Yeah, it must be a bit disappointing. They must have expected to have won at home. Right. Bingo. Zerachul. I've just seen the bingo there. I do apologise that I missed that a moment ago. Zerachul has redeemed a round of bingo. So let's play a round of bingo. Let me work out where everything is here. Let's get that all set up. And let's pop on over. Right, so guys, for those of you that were in only like 40 minutes ago or so when we last played, we will have now played 2 games of bingo since we played an actual game in Football Manager. I will explain how this works. Head on over to that link in chat. That will take you to the Play Football Games website and send you into the room to play bingo. Every single player gets a unique bingo card with 16 squares on it. On those squares, there may be clubs, there may be nations, there'll be competitions, there'll be awards. We each get the same list of 60 players, one after the other. We've got to work out whether they match any of those squares. If they match a square, click on it. If they don't match a square, skip it. Your aim is to get 16 squares all correct. Once you lock in an answer on a square, however, you can't undo it. So once that's done, that is unclickable. Got to be careful with those selections, those clicks. Yeah, so that's how it's going to work. We've got about 90 seconds or so. We'll start the game. Oh, Johnson has asked us to hold on for a minute. Why don't we say, in fact, that we'll give it like 2 minutes or so, and 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. I'm just going to keep on pushing that time up. And then we can head into the game. So give Johnson a little bit of time. Now, underneath me, you will see that there's a scoreboard. The way that scoreboard works is we play mini games quite regularly here on stream, and I keep track of how people do, whether that's all time or on a weekly basis. With this game has its own point system, but I have a separate one. So the top 5 all get points towards the scoreboard. You get 5 points for finishing first. You get 4 points for finishing second, 3 for third, 2 for fourth, 1 for fifth. So there's a good chance to get yourself onto the scoreboard as well. The week will reset tomorrow, but the all-time one keeps on going. And it all adds up. All adds up eventually, right? So let me just try and catch up on some of those bits that I've missed there. Mike, as a Greek, if we don't smoke, our Greek citizenship is revoked. Well, that's why I'm ashamed to my Greek heritage, you see. I mean, there are probably many reasons that they would deny me a passport, but I think that's a pretty good one. Out of all of them, it's a pretty good one. So Mr. Echo, bit disappointed with the result, understandable. Did you see the moment when the ref collided between 2 players? It was a funny sandwich. Sounds amazing. Right at the end. Incredible. Live to Prof. Welcome in, my dude. I hope you're doing well. How's your weekend going? Zevachul's chat gaming addiction must be fed. Absolutely. Right, that guy there, bingo, then bed. Early start for the F1 tomorrow. Likewise, that guy there. So I think I've got another break coming up for myself in about 20 minutes or so. I don't think we'll get through to a later third break because I'd like to get up for the F1 tomorrow as well. Right, Johnson's back. That's perfect. We've got about 30 seconds left before we're going to start the game. So, safe pair of hands. You are Noah on the screen. That makes sense. You did mention that you are Noah indeed. And you keep on spelling the name Jeff wrong as well. That awful, awful American spelling of Jeff. Disgraceful. Disgraceful, sir. Wait, Adam, almost missed it. What a wonderful, wonderful time to come in. Shall we play then? Here we go. 10 seconds and we will be playing another round of bingo. I will play slowly because one, I'm very, very slow. But two, so that you guys don't get to see which players are coming up ahead of time. And our very first one off the bat, which I'm not even going to click on, is Jeremy Menez. There's a throwback. There's a throwback. And then we've got Julio Caesar. He, quite famously, of being stabbed by Brutus. Again, I'm going to let that one play out. Keep on going past it. And then we've got Maxi Rodriguez. Now, am I going to let this one pass? I'm not going to let this one pass, I don't think. So, that's an Atletico Madrid player, surely. Toby Alderweireld, another great throwback player. Why have they got a real picture of Simeone but a drawn picture of Robin? Interesting. That seems surprising, I think, would be. I mean, whatever images you can get hold of, right? I've missed some opportunities to play things. Oops, Patrick Kluivert, surely he's won a Champions League. I'm going with it. We've done it. We've clicked it anyway. Kim Kallstrom. Kim Kallstrom, famously Arsenal's greatest ever signing. Gabriel Jesus comes a close second. A close second. I don't know which Brazilian team Gabriel Jesus played for, so I'm not going to risk that one. Yannick Carrasco. There we go. There. Another great throwback there. But I'm not sure if he meets any of those criteria. Ronaldinho. Did Ronaldinho win the Italian top division Golden Boot? Did he play for Everton? Martin Keown. Martin Keown went for... He did spend some time at Everton, didn't he? He went from Arsenal... Was it from Arsenal to Villa to Everton to Arsenal? I think, maybe. I'm not sure. World Cup winner David De Gea. We are going with that one. Pepe Reina. Now, you said that Pepe Reina... Someone said that Pepe Reina was a cheat code. So I'm going to assume that he's a cheat code that will somehow cover off Iron Robin. Jeremy Frimpong. Jeremy Frimpong. I don't think he matches any of those. We'll let that one pass through. Thiago Motta. Thiago Motta. He's not French, is he? So it's not that there. Virgil van Dijk. I don't believe he meets any of those criteria. Yerry Mina definitely played for Everton. That would have been a much better choice there, I expect. Colombian. I'm going with Fernando Morientes. Has he played in the Turkish top division? Feels like someone that would have gone to Turkey in his career. He does that. This is that whole Mandela effect thing, Adam. Absolutely the whole Mandela effect going on here. Right, Thomas Muller. Now that would have been a much better choice for Iron Robin. So safe pair of hands. No need to apologise. I'm just playing around with you, my dude. I mean, it is spelled incorrectly, but that's not important in any way, shape, or form. Leon Bailey. He's played in Belgium. Played in Germany. Massimo Ambrosini. Proper Chelsea Massimo Ambrosini. Mamadou Sakho, we're passing on that one. Jadon Sancho, we can pass on Sancho. David Luiz, I don't know where he played in Brazil, so we're going to pass on David Luiz. Jordan Henderson is a pass. Dominic Solanke is a pass. Jerome Boateng, that's a pass. Christian Vieri must have won the Golden Boot for Serie A at some point in his career. Moussa Dembele. Passing there. Leandro Trossard is a pass. David Ospina. That's a player that could have played in Turkey at some point. Could have been managed by Simeone at some point. Let's go for it. Luis Diaz. we're passing there. Dougie Louise, we're passing on that. Dante, we are passing on. Jonathan David is Canadian, as is Afonso Davis. Budawine Zenden, Laurent Blanc, Nuno Tavares, Gaika Mendieta, Benjamin Mendy, Savinio, Blaise Matuidi. Let's go with it. Domenico Berardi, Aurelian Chouameni, Kylian Mbappe, Luis Figo, Rafinha, Kevin Trapp, Stefan Lichtsteiner. Right, he's going to play. We're saying that he's played in Turkey now. Filippo Inzaghi, Nicolas Anelka, Lautaro Martinez, Mauro Icardi, Eusebio, Johan Cruyff, Divock Origi played for Flamengo, and Petr Cech is Czech. Okay, at least waiting for the end for Petr Cech means we got something right out of that one. Adam's got bingo. Adam's got bingo. Fantastic work, sir. Fantastic work. What a round. What a round. Adam has definitely got himself the full 5 points. Currently in second, we've got P. P, if you want to let us know who you are as well, for that I will happily have it. It's just P on the leaderboard. But if you're someone that is already like in Twitch that we know, let me know and I can make sure that it gets added to the right person. Draw as well. Draw's been very, very strong at this game. Coming in, both of those guys, just one correct answer off bingo. They get 4 points each. Johnson comes in fourth. Another strong showing from Johnson. Just the 2 incorrect. And it's Noah. Noah comes in as well. They're joint fourth. Joint fourth. That's knocking Mr. Echo out of the top 5. And then we had FMG&G, Rafael Leay, West, Rintera, RG Solanke 3. Fantastic work, guys. Absolutely incredible. Bingo from Adam. Right, John Saddam took too long on Boateng. Started doubting myself whether we played for Marseille or Lyon. That's the problem. That guy there, oof, 12 points. Definitely time for bed. That's understandable. I'll catch up with the rest of the stream after F1 tomorrow. Enjoy the race too. Thank you very much. I hope that you get some good rest and you enjoy the race as well. RJ says you're a bit better when you concentrate. It does help. Does help, that's for sure. Rintera says it was relatively easy. I got smoked the first time around. I suppose it, like, yeah, when you get a really, really bad game, then actually, as long as it's not painful, it's all right. I'm just... Ambrosini didn't play for Chelsea. Is it Ambrosetti? Was it Ambrosetti? Or could it be... No, I'm not thinking of Marco Ambrosio, the goalkeeper, but that's a fine guess as well. They had a midfielder around that period in the late 90s where they were just signing as many Italian players as they can. I think it might be Ambrosetti rather than Ambrosini that I'm thinking of. Maybe. So Noah, can we redeem another game? Nope. So there was deliberately a cool down, Noah, so that we can kind of break. It helps break things up, but also I kind of want to make sure that I do actually play some FM during the course of the stream. Doesn't need to be that much FM, just enough. So we stick with Nico at the base. Caprile can come back in. Oh, in the Dallabona days, yes. In the Samuel Dallabona days. There is a great bit of recall, Adam. Incredible memory, sir. Right, let's point the finger and say, just stick to the plan, lads. Let's see how we get on. Game number 3 I need to fix that once I'm off stream. Here we go. Damn, Adam, so fast is incredible, wasn't it? Absolutely incredible. RJ's recommending, suggesting that it could be Marco Ambrosio as well. No, it's not Marco Ambrosio that I'm thinking of. It's definitely a midfielder. So had Moussa Dembele, which one? That was my thought as well, Eddie. But there was only one S in this Moussa Dembele. Now, I don't know which Moussa Dembele that is, but I did notice that he had a less traditional spelling of Moussa. So I'm guessing there might only be one with just one S. Maybe. Who knows? So draw, you got Icardi and Martinez one after the other. If I had gotten them the other way around, I would have had bingo. Oh, man. Gabriele Ambrosetti. That sounds right. Did Gabriele Ambrosetti play for Chelsea in like the late 90s? Adam skips Dembele, but I think Moussa was the Spurs one. There's been a couple of Moussa Dembeles, but which one is just one S? I don't know. Right, Xerxes with a chance. Oh, Xerxes. Zerichel had the same, but for me they came in the right order. And Eusebio as a clutch 57th pick. Eusebio, could I have played Eusebio at any point? I probably messed up. Granted, I know that by the end that I had players that I was just shoehorning in because I don't know enough about players that have gone to Turkey. Just guessing. Here's Nico, just over. The Celtic striker I think was Moussa with one S. Moussa the Belgian. So RJ spelt Moussa with two S's and said that's the Belgian. Eddie's now saying that Moussa with one S is the Belgian one. No, I'm so confused. But I am right about Ambrosetti. I will take the small victories when they come. Yes, I was thinking of Ambrosetti, not Ambrosini. I mean, I got loads of others wrong as well, so it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but at least I'm not going completely mad. We're 25 minutes in, struggling to break them down. We've had a couple of chances, mainly from the edge of the area. Xerxes missed a big chance. But look, shots from Bove, from Nico, couple from Baglieri, which is surprising. Here is Baglieri. Baglieri cuts back, finds Kari, who loses out. Right, Baglieri is the one that gets it back again, and now Theo surges into the area. His shot's blocked. Let's give these guys a little bit of some words of encouragement. I mean, we should probably be doing a little bit more than being nice to them. This is Frosinone after all. Right, ball down into the channel. Nicolau gets there, sends it back to Serafellini. And then we abandon Nicolau so they're able to play through quite nice and easily. Bianchi into Berziski. That's the guy we just loaned to them. Here's Theo stepping away with the ball. Now he's going to go on a little jaunt down the left. Finds Elena Kena. Elena Kena pushes it down to Xerxes. And it comes back to Elena Kena. He's got 5 goals already. This is only our 3rd game. George Elena Kena. George Elena Kena. Right. Yeah, it's definitely got to be Elena Kena. I can't include George. Right, Xerxes gets tackled. Elena Kane's the first to react. His shot is low. Serafellini can't get down to get a proper hand on it. Bounces off into the net with the first shot on target of the game. So my bad. Chaser says Moussa Dembele is a French professional footballer who plays as a striker for Al Ettifaq. That's double S. And we've got the confirmation on Belgian Moussa Dembele being single S. That's mean. Like, surely now they won't. Their database probably doesn't have it set up in any way to distinguish like that. But I feel like there should be some specific rules written for the Moussa Dembeles of this world. Right, Eddie says, don't worry, had the same feeling with Johan Cruyff, so many to choose from, indeed. Zerichel, kind of sad ending, second on my first ever bingo. The evening is ruined by a guy named Adam. Bloody Adam. Coming back for... Actually, no, I love having Adam in. Love having Adam in. I'm not going to bully him. It's not like Crud mode, where I'm happy to bully. So Chaser, Moussa Sidi Yaya Dembele, known as Moussa Dembele, is a Belgian former professional footballer who played as a central midfielder. Indeed, former Fulham and Spurs. Like, I know in his Spurs era, he was definitely a central midfielder. As Kari makes it 2-0, Ayman Kari, beautiful stuff. But I felt like at Fulham he played much higher up, like even maybe occasionally on the wing. But Elena Kane into Bove. Bove plays the ball over the top. Kari gets it there, nicely takes it down, volleys it across the keeper, 2-0. Lovely goal. Lovely, lovely goal. So was a baller back in the day, Musa? 100%. I loved Moussa Dembele. Solid. We have struggled for the ball though. We're playing against a team in Frosinone that we're not necessarily expecting to be particularly good. We are going to struggle. They're going to hold the ball in deep areas. We don't press high. But that also means that they can't press us particularly high because they've got so many players behind the ball. So, point finger. I think we can do better. Keep going. And what we're going to say now is drop that tempo and play out defence. So let's hold on to the ball a little bit more. We're in a comfortable position. Let's just bore them into submission, essentially. So Strange Bambino, what's the match camera angle? It's vertical scrolling. Vertical scrolling, full zoom, a little bit of height to deal with some of the stadiums that have very, very weird things in the way that can block your view when you're shooting downwards. But I like this angle because it allows you to see shot placement a lot more, and I feel it adds a bit of drama to the way you can see things in a bit more detail. I just like it. Here's Victor, cross comes in, no worries. Caprile now, he's going to hold on to the ball for finding Baglieri. Baglieri, inside to Milenkovic, back to Baglieri, inside to Nico. Nico playing at the foot of midfield with Theo out. And here we get forward with Theo. Theo, can he get a cross in? It looks like he can't. He's been chased out. Here's Bove on the edge of the area. Bove takes aim. What a strike by Eduardo Bove. Oh, pick that one out. Pick that one out. Right, so his full name is Musa with double S, but he's known as Musa with a single S. That is some bullshit. That is some absolute bullshit. He was technically at a Hazard level, sadly not very professional, even less than Eden Hazard. I mean, that has got to be pretty unprofessional, to be fair. Sir Johnson, a bit like your grandma, someone misspelled her name once and she ended up just using that as her official name. That's quite cool. I mean, dumb, but cool. Belgium has a lot of those very close to world stars, but broken by randomness. I mean, it's... When we look back in, say, it's Turkey takes aim, when we look back on the Belgian golden generation, say in like 20 years' time, are we going to consider it as players that never quite lived up to their potential? Or are we going to end up kind of rewriting perception and going, actually, maybe they weren't as good as they were made out to be? A bit like how for the last 30 years, England have been dealing with a new golden generation. And actually, the generation we called a golden generation before, they weren't actually a golden generation. And the generation before that we also called a golden generation, they weren't actually one. So I do wonder whether there will be some revisionism at play. Noel Lopez pulls one goal back for Frosinone. Time to make some changes. Those changes are going to look like Siklic getting more game time at the base of midfield. The double change of Pataru and Bonato. Let's go back to what we know was working a little bit earlier. Hopefully, a fourth goal would be quite nice. If we could score 4 goals in each of our opening 3 games, I think that would be quite cool. Here's the corner into the far post. Bonato gets the second ball. Serafellino just lets it drift wide. No real danger there at all. Free kick. Bonato From distance, Serafalino with a great save, scrambling across to his left, tips it round the post. Now here's Fatawi with a corner. Again, sending that in towards that far post area. Serafalino Cathers. Cathers is definitely a word. Enzo Lafi with a corner now. Could Frosinone pull it within one goal? Milenkovic gets there first. Benato loses out, but Baraldo gets clear, and we're coming away with Kari. Kari running at the defence. Kari going it all the way. No, he plays it to Elena Kane. Siklic to Benato. Benato, was he offside? I think Benato has to have been offside there. It looked like he moved just a moment too early. The referee is checking. The referee has disallowed the goal. So Siklic, yeah, Benato just went a little bit early. Maybe he was expecting the pass direct to him rather than through Siklic on the way. Gary can come on. We don't need to use all the changes. So let's bring on Heza. Heza can replace Kari. Make sure he gets a little bit of game time. Draw asks, which games are you most looking forward to this week in the Champions League? Well, Draw, as a Villa fan, it's going to be the Villa game. I can't believe we've made it this far into the competition. As Erchel says, as a national team that always underperformed about Belgium. So Eddie, with Belgium, he stayed somewhat in the shadows of De Bruyne, Hazard, Lukaku, company, but he was vital. He could make the ball untouchable for the other team. What I loved about, he was so, okay, De Bruyne, definitely better, but because, Hazard in particular was so effective out wide, Lukaku, what Dembele did in the middle of the pitch for controlling the game, his ability to shield the ball, keep it away from others, to use his strength, carry the ball, to his combativeness as well. He's just a very, very complete player. Maybe, as RJ said, a little bit lazy, maybe, or unprofessional, sorry. But yeah, the way that he would just be able to essentially control the opposition through the use of his body, through understanding angles, sensational stuff. Sensational. So Roman says it didn't help that the whole squad hated each other. That plays a part, definitely. As a Belgian, I feel the third at the World Cup is a great achievement for an 11 million people country. That's absolutely fair as well. That is absolutely fair as well. We were what's the professional way of putting it? We were shit in that second half. I shouldn't have tried to kill things off. Feel like we can feel very, very fortunate to come away with another win. But we have. So it's all good. All good. That will take us through pretty much until the transfer window closes. So we've got a nice good transfer window coming up. But before that transfer window comes up, we've got a little break. So I'm going to go pee, I'm going to vape, and I'm going to come and see you guys in about 3 to 4 minutes. Catch you then. Right, I'm coming back before the break is over to say thank you very much, El Norby. Thank you, Adam, for dropping by. Really, really appreciate it, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Right, Mike says, as we're talking about Belgium, does context matter? Because there's a different standard in being considered a golden generation in Brazil than in Greece. I think absolutely. I think 100%. And I think that can also cause that element of reassessing stuff with hindsight as well, because if there is that continual improvement over years, maybe those expectations then change as well. Now, thankfully, we've got a golden generation definitely coming up with Kouliarakis, Konstantelius, Koretzas, Chimas. I need to add Chimas into that because I don't like the initials of the first three that I mentioned, really. We need to be careful, even if that is the home of Golden Dawn. Yeah, definitely need to be careful on that regard. But yeah, so Greece is, and to think we won a European Championship without a golden generation, which arguably makes a far greater achievement. We're going to ignore questions there. We get the first one through. We should start to get some agents hopefully pestering us. Right, players available for the under-20s. Let's get Ruggieri, can be our old player out there. Benato can't. Venturelli 21, I don't think we're going to put him out there. Siklic 21. Heza 29. So where is it? It's DeFeo, Wojciech, Brignoni, Carmona. Those were the young players. Oh, pardon me. I should probably just set them to always available. But I don't. Oh, wait a second. It's a friendly. It's a friendly. I did this in one of the breaks. There I am being dumb as rocks. Brignoni and Carmona are fine. The rest of those guys can have that. So, G&G asks, has there ever been a silver generation? Ooh, silver generation feels like the kind of nickname you'd give to a team that was like really old. Really, really old. That would be quite fun. Wojciech we don't want to sell, and we certainly don't want to sell him for per league appearance. 8 million potentially, but like 21 million overall seems reasonable. But he's also part of our first team backup plans. Venturelli. Do we accept it even if we're still waiting for the Profundi deal to come through? Oh, they're only offering us 10%. There we go, that's better. We will accept that. That's fine. Elena Kane, player of the month. Absolutely. Bove's goal of the month. Aratalo, manager of the month, naturally. Got to be happy with those. 14 hours left on the countdown. So Strange Mambino says, I think the Dutch 98 squad was a silver squad. Great players, but always second best. That's fair. That's fair. Johnson will never forgive Belgium for beating Finland at Euro 22-21 when you were already through and we just needed a point. I mean, you have to learn tough sometimes. Have to learn tough. Right, let's tell Wojciech that they need to pay us more. If you want to go, it's 30 mil. He's going to say no. I'm going to say 30 mil. He's going to say no. I'm going to say 30 mil. He's going to storm off. Standard thing, but now he knows our position. That's what matters there. Loan offer for Venturelli, offering absolutely nothing. Standard. Cool. Nothing to go there. Let's see. Agent offers coming through for defensive midfielders. Ricardo Roca here is 23 years old, left-footed. He's been playing quite a bit for Porto. Had some loans out within the top division as well. Not enough information to go on, obviously, from there, but let's see. They're reluctant to let him go out on loan. That's understandable. We say 100%. We say optional future fee of $25. And they say no. We'll still make that offer anyway. Antonio Villamosa. Again, big asking price there. More of a defender than he is a defensive midfielder. Move from Bragantino, from the our Red Bull teams previously. We will not feeling all that excited by that prospect. How old is Maxence Lacroix? He's now 31-year-old. Been used as a substitute. Has some experience in Serie A. Isn't transfer listed. I wouldn't be keen on paying you $500,000 a month and paying him $375k a week. So probably around the 8 hours maybe 6 hours remaining part, I'm going to probably start to panic. If it's an optional future fee, I have no intention of actually activating it. Let's try it. 40 million. Another player gone out. Vaskovic bid coming in. We're going to reject that. Right, so Draw says Marco Asensio against his former team could definitely excel. Asensio, such a good player. Such a good player. It's crazy to me how on earth we've managed to get him on loan. It's a shame that there's not a future fee baked into the deal. As Everton, we're still winning the fucking league. We are. We definitely are. We definitely are. No doubts. Any other players appearing that we haven't seen before? I'm not seeing anything jump out at me at the moment. Actually, why aren't I doing this? Transfer listed. Enzo is possibly the right profile. And because he's transfer listed, this might be possible. He's transfer listed by request rather than because they want him gone. But let's try anyway. 50%. They're just going to do the whole not interested in your offer bit. That's fine. Avdullah, who is now transfer listed also by request. $69 million is a funny number. I will grant you that. We'll see what happens. Maybe if Saudi come in, that can impact things. Carlos Hoyos was offered out by the club. We don't know much about Levante. They are currently in La Liga. Hasn't been doing anything particularly special with them. A centre-back, though, again, that can play further up. We definitely know that he can't pass. And then we're down at the players that we've seen before. And we're still waiting on Profundi. There we go. We've got Profundi. That's good. Venturelli out, Profundi in. That sorts out our right back situation, which is great. So Profundi can be registered. We can give him the number 2. Even though it's a striker's number. And let's make him feel welcome. Right, Sego, well, my good sir, glad to have been able to watch another fantastic stream. Have to go drinking with my buddies. See you next time I can. Have a fabulous evening, Sega. Dodgy's in as well. Welcome in, Dodgy. How you doing, sir? I'm very sorry that I am that far behind on chat. How have you been? How have you been? It's been a long time. In fact, I don't think I've managed to drop into one of your... Just trying to think. What's the last stuff I've seen over on TikTok? So, guys, if you don't know, Dodgy Gamer is the TikToker you should be seeing for your FM content. Like there is no one that comes close. Which is a sentence I never thought I'd say, not because of some kind of question mark over Dodgy Gamer's credentials, but just because I didn't think I'd ever watch content on TikTok. But there you go. There we have it. I'm a modern man now. And if you want to, the place you should be looking at is Dodgy Gamer. So Mr. Echo asked, will New Gen name Redeem be backed by in-game March? It will indeed. Remind me before Monday's stream and it will be back on Monday's stream. I think I turned it off because of the NFL, the Netherlands thing, and I evidently haven't turned it back on. My bad. I do apologise. A defensive midfielder at Man United that's not playing enough minutes to judge is unavailable for loan, and we have no information on him. Liam Farrell is a defensive midfielder, but perhaps a bit more attack-minded. He spent last season on loan at Watford, where he was okay, but that is down in the Championship, so that's not going to necessarily excite anyone. There's Carlos Hoy. So if we were all the way through options there. How am I feeling about Enzo's picked up an injury? Still don't have any great information. 27 mil is feels far too expensive as well. Started quite a bit. I can't pull the trigger on a player who I don't know enough about. Let's see what the Director of Football is saying. Loans. Ideally, people that... Okay, Roger could be available on loan. That's a player that we looked at and went, I don't think he's worth his asking price, but I do think he's worth a loan. 40% optional future fee. I'm fine with that because we just won't activate it. That's absolutely fine. We say a squad mid player and we say no role selected. You take off can be recalled. Remove and exclude. I'm happy for us to be paying his full wages. So what it looks like it would take. A minimal playing monthly fee is fine with me as well. The fee is optional at the end of it. That would work out quite nicely, I think. So Johnson, you blew the 3-0 lead in the second leg. Going to penalties. Oh my. Your second best taker has 7. Oh no. Oh no, Johnson. Oh no, Johnson. How did it end? Oh, there we go. And somehow you've won it. Half my penalty takers had like 4 to 6 penalties. seems like the perfect place to stop playing for today. That feels like all the luck in the world has come through. That is incredible. That is incredible. Dodgy Gamer says Golden Generation now means this team should be better than this. That is true. It no longer means Golden Generation. It just means we're unhappy that they're not winning everything. FMGNG asks, if you had to choose between Asensio or Rashford to sign permanently, it'd have to be Asensio. Like, Rashford's done really, really well. Rashford's done fantastically well. But, like, Asensio is such a quality above. Like, I've not seen someone play like that for Villa possibly since Benito Carboni. And my memories of Benito Carboni is probably elevated by being relatively young at the time as well. But there was something so magical about Asensio. I just, yeah, incredible player. Eddie, 69 million. Does that mean it can go both ways if you sign him? That is some excellent pun work, Eddie. Kawatiba, you're probably back from the game, and the limbs at the end compensate the shitty game we had. Most terrible 1-0 win you'll ever see. Doesn't matter how good the wins are as long as the wins come, right? Blue Lions wants us to look up Dario Asugo. We can have a look at Dario Asugo. He's now at Fulham. Dario Asugo is 26 years old. Has been at Fulham for about 4 years now. Just the 89 league appearances in that time. Well, three full seasons. So actually around 30 appearances isn't too bad. A spell at Lecce, a short spell at Feyenoord. Up now at 46 million euros. So this is how his career has been. He started off making a couple of substitution appearances for Feyenoord. He actually started off playing for Sporting's reserve team. Did get some game time in 24-25 for the senior team. 8 league starts, 15 starts overall. Went to Feyenoord, didn't really manage to make an impression. Went on loan to Lecce. That turned into a permanent move, where this season he started every game. 35 starts, 2 assists, 2.69 tackles, 87% pass win rate. Kind of okay there. And then was sold the following season to Fulham. Was a starter in the first year. Couple of goals, 5 assists was all right. 3 goals, 4 assists the following season. His appearances did drop a little. And then he started to find himself on the fringes a little bit more. Gone from 29 starts down to 27 starts, down to 21 starts. Never really seems to have kicked on massively from the looks of things. How did the Netherlands thing go? Blue Lions, it's still underway. It is still very much underway. We have, I've won the first 2 games. The second round, I won 1 and I lost 1. So I've won 9 points. I need to draw both of my remaining games to be guaranteed of going through. If I win a game, I go through. If I draw 1 and I lose 1, I go out on head-to-head because the top 3 teams will all be on 10 points from a group of 4, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And talking of the the FMNL Super League, Iron is in. Welcome in, Iron. How are you doing, sir? Lovely to see you. How have you been keeping? And we have some news as well. A safe pair of hands, Noah, who was speaking a little bit earlier, has just won the UCL. Fabulous stuff. Fabulous stuff. A Blue Baron says no way Villa will pay 50 million for Rashford. I mean, I strongly doubt we pay 50 million for Rashford, but there's also the possibility that we might agree with that valuation. Like around 40 million, it was also suggested that it might actually be. So you never know. You never know. We're being recommended this lad from the Japanese league. He's 20 years old. We know nothing about him. Al Hassan Yusuf. Okay. Now, Yusuf isn't a player of top quality, but he does come up often in statistical based performance. So I do know that he can be decent. He came back into the game once we started adding leagues when we moved to Darmstadt. Got some good ratings overall, but we obviously don't have the advanced stats. He's not an 18 million euro player, that's for sure. Antwerp wouldn't be willing to loan him out, so that probably discounts that as an opportunity, to be fair. That ends our defensive midfielders for the time being. So Rojo it is. Rojo comes in on loan. 120k per week. Generally speaking, that's not the worst thing in the world. It's probably more than I would like to pay for him. We have agreed an optional fee of 64 million that we will never activate. Even if he plays really well, I strongly doubt that we will be interested in activating the 65 million euro clause. That's above what his valuation is, 48 to 56. I'd probably be willing, if we wanted him, I'd probably be willing to let him go back and hope that we could bid on him in a more normal sense. So Coritiba, 14 shots, 2 on target, 1 of them was the penalty. You take it. So Iron, you're halfway through your 24-hour stream where you're raising money for the Dutch Heart Foundation, and I personally blow all donations. Fantastic, my dude. Now, guys, obviously, like that's an awesome cause. Please do head on over and show some love. Fabulous. Lou, welcome in, my dude. How was the debut? The debut was pretty damn good. Shall we show you what happened in the debut? Because Lou, at half time, the score was 0-0. The score was 0-0, and then all of this happened. We made some changes at half time. We tweaked a couple of the roles. We changed the mentality a little bit, try and get a bit more control. And within 30 seconds of half time, we were 1-0 down. And then 7 minutes after half time, Diamande feeds Samuel Lino, and Vlahovic is there again, and we were 2-0 down. And then 60 minutes in, 15 minutes into the second half, Kari brawls one back for us, and this is the most beautiful 12 minutes of football you have ever witnessed. As Carmona sends it in, Ilakena chests it down, volleys past Carnesci. That's the equaliser. And just a few moments later, Theo feeds Elena Kena to make it 3-2. And we're not done. Carey feeds Carmona on as a substitute. 4-2. 12 minutes we turned it around. And then we conceded a header right at the end of the game to give us an exceptionally nervy ending. It was a debut. It was a debut for sure. Lestri's here as well. Good morning, sir. Daylight savings finished, so you get your extra hour sleep. Fabulous. How you doing, my dude? RJ has redeemed bingo. We will head on over to that in a second. So Draw asks, as a Villa fan, where would you rank the legendary John Gregory on the list of the greatest managers in Villa's history? A fair question. Again, so my perception of John Gregory is going to be very much skewed by an element of romance around that era. You know, when he came in, I would have been around 12, 13, 14. I wouldn't necessarily, if you asked me to define what his approach was, I wouldn't necessarily be able to tell you. I don't know how to really assess, based on memory of John Gregory, how I would rank it in terms of what I've seen since, where I've started to understand the game a little bit more and really appreciate some of the finer elements there. However, it was very fun. The UEFA Cup run was incredible. Being top at Christmas was incredible. Seeing players like Benito Carboni, Paul Merson, Dion Dublin, absolutely incredible. I know Ian Taylor was signed during the Brian Little era, but really kicked on under John Gregory as well. So I've got a lot of fondness for him. Villa haven't had that many great managers in my lifetime. You know, he's probably managed to get above Steven Gerrard, Remy Gard, Alex McLeish, David O'Leary, definitely Tim Sherwood, Roberto Di Matteo, Steve Bruce. It was more enjoyable than the Dean Smith era, but I appreciate what Dean Smith did for us, and I think the context of what Dean Smith did for us perhaps puts him higher up that ranking. Lou, it was a busy second half. Ian, you had a cardiac arrest yourself in 2021. That makes sense. I'm glad to see that you're okay and well. Absolutely fantastic cause. Absolutely fantastic. Right, let's head on over and do that game of bingo that RJ has redeemed. Where on earth is my lovely little thing? Rui, what season is this? We're now in season 9. We've spent 4 seasons in Finland. We then spent 4 seasons in Germany. And we've just joined AC Milan this summer in game. We are 3 games into the season. Just 3 games into the season, which is, really exciting. We've fallen on our feet. We've failed upwards, some might say. But that's not what matters right now. What matters right now is a little round of football bingo. Before I explain how it goes, just want to catch up. So Blue Barons mentioned Ron Atkinson. I never really enjoyed. So I was born in 85. Most of my knowledge of Ron Atkinson is actually towards the end of his time with us. Yes, we won the Coca-Cola Cup, and then he almost got us relegated. So my memories of Ron Atkinson isn't that fond, I'm afraid to say. Hammers is in. Welcome in, my dude. It was a great win today, and Damien's in as well. Musterman Iron and I agree. I should donate some pounds and 2 free wins to you next week. I can't do that, Damien. I can't donate you wins. I need to get through. Right, Johnson's got to be heading off after this bingo, so I better get this. 3rd time lucky. I have faith in you. Let me explain how this works. In chat, you have a link to playfootball.games. If you head on over there, we're going to play a round of bingo. Every single player gets a unique bingo card with 16 squares on it. We then all get the same list of 60 players. Our job is to work out whether the player, revealed one after the other, matches one of the criteria on the bingo card. We click on it if we think it matches, and that locks that square in. You can't click on that square again for the whole game. If you don't think they match any, you click skip. Your job is to try and get 16 right. So that's the way. The criteria will be things like clubs, nations, competitions, awards. And we're going to give it like another 30 seconds or so and then head on in. So Eddie, a cardiac arrest that makes sense. Timing was not on your side. I mean, it's good though that it's great Iron to hear that you are well and you're okay. I can't. Well, I was going to say I can't imagine how scary that is. I have a what's the right term for it? A chronic heart issue myself. So I completely appreciate how scary it can be when it starts playing up, especially something like cardiac arrest. A fantastic course. Right, Damien says, okay, some pounds only is accepted as well, and maybe a win in a draw. A win in a draw knocks me out, Damien. And if you win and get a draw, I'm out. There is no way that we can both go through. I believe. This is disappointing, but there we are. I'm going to have to be ruthless against you. Cool. Right, shall we head on in and play the game? We get a little countdown of about 10 seconds. Hamiz says that Rodgers was fantastic. He always is. Rodgers is such a quality player. His upper body strength when dribbling is sensational. Right, I'm going to play this a little bit slowly to begin with because I don't want to get ahead so that you guys then can kind of see what players are coming up, which means I'm going to let Eric Garcia go. I'm going to let Pedri go. That said, I'm not actually sure if they would have been eligible for any of these anyway. Means I'm going to get Luis Figo go as well. Luis Figo, what a player. And then after like 3 or 4, I start to play a little bit more properly here. So we've got Eric Abidal. Eric Abidal, is he a scout or a director now with Barcelona? Actually, might not be anymore, to be fair. Victor Valdez, going through all the Barcelona players right now. Victor Valdez, what a player he was. Was he actually? Maybe not, thinking about it. Like, Valdez was one of those goalkeepers that feels a little bit questionable. Like, yeah, I don't think that he was consistent. Undulating form. That's the term I'm going to go with. It's not the term that anyone would use, but that's the one I'm going with. Right, Sirigu. I'm sure Sirigu's played for one of these, but we let that go. Juan Sebastian Veron. What a player. What a player. Rafinha. Another Barcelona player. Another Barcelona player who, in this case, is going to be Brazilian. Claudio Bravo. Some more goalkeepers coming through as well. Claudio Bravo's played for quite a few clubs, but I can't think of any of them matching right now. Phil Foden. Oh, that's European Cup until 91-92. So that's not since the rebrand. I almost tripped up there. Malcolm. Oh, that's Malcolm without a second L. That's the one playing in Russia? Possibly? Desiree Doué. Did he come from... He didn't come from Lille to join PSG, did he? So I'm going to pass on that. Armando Broja. I know he's been out on loan to a few clubs. I don't know what those clubs are. So we're going to let that run. Martin de Roon. I was going to immediately click on Netherlands, but actually, is Martin de Roon Belgian? I'm questioning myself now. I'm questioning myself on everything. Okay, I know that Rio was at Man United at the same time as Cristiano. Pablo Aimar, another quality player. Francesco Totti. He must have won the Italian Golden Boot at some point. Hey, RJ! If only RJ was... Is RJ still around? It's DeMarco. A little bit of DeMarco. Incredible stuff. Teddy Sheringham. I've almost clicked on European Cup again there because I'm thinking of the Champions League, but it won't be. Hector Bellerin. Spanish, not Dutch, so can't be Netherlands and Barcelona. Hasn't won the Ballon d'Or as far as I'm aware. Max Kilman, being referred to as Maximilian Kilman's a nice touch. James Maddison. We're skipping on that. Cody Gakpo. There, we've got a Dutch player. We can run that. Nuno Mendes. Gonna pass there. Ayoze Perez. Don't know. Toby Alderweireld. Why do I feel that Toby Alderweireld was at Atletico at some point? So I'm going to let that run. Luke de Jong. Has he ended up being one of those weird players that has been at Barca at some point? Jeremy Frimpong we're passing on. Anguissa's come up again. We're going to pass on that. Jeremy again. Eric Dyer is not any of those, surely. Could have been managed by Van Gaal, I suppose. Did Sir Bobby Charlton ever win the European Cup? I'm not that I'm aware of, so I'm going to let that one run. Kevin Strootman. He's not played for Barca, right? Must have been managed by Van Gaal at some point, like the Dutch national team. Frank de Boer. Must have been part of that. Oh, no. No, I panicked. Erling Haaland is Norwegian. Sadio Mane. Ryan Gravenberch. Dominic Solanke. Cesar Azpilicueta. Pepe Reina. Nando Llorente. Marcus Rashford. Not feeling good about any of these. Angel Gomez at Lille. That's one I can run with. Matheus Cunha. David Villa. John Dahl Thomason. Again, feels too late to have won the European Cup. Boudewijn Zenden. Did he ever play at Barca? We're going with it. Florent Malouda. Gareth Bale. Bruno Fernandes. Owen Hargreaves. Nani. Nani feels like someone who could have played in Turkey at some point. Raul Albio. Christos Stoichkov. We're going with the European Cup winner for him. Cristiano Ronaldo. Raul. Luis Suarez. That's going to be a bad round. That's going to be... Oh, okay. Okay. So Hamid says, I'm not sure what happened in the second half. We played as though we wanted to throw it away, but we learned from last season it's a fair win. Both sides missed some chances. Indeed. I think we did better in terms of chance quality as well. We won the XG battle, so that's all that matters. Well, all that matters is the goal battle. Knees in. Welcome in, my dude. Just got home from work and you're chilling after the mandatory shower, change into comfy mode. Well, you've missed just 3 games. We've played a lot of bingo and not much FM. It's been fabulous. Doué was Ren. That's that. Yes. But Jonta comes in with a big, as does Draw, fantastic joint first there, both with 45 points. FM G&G though. G&G. Now he understands that the real goal is to be exactly the same score as me. 42. We got 2 wrong each. Fabulous work. Mr. Echo. Jabbit. Welcome in, by the way, Jabbit. That's first, second, third. Joint 4th. Beautiful work there. Roman just missing out on a top 5 spot. But some incredible work. Kawatiba, you're worst yet. Maybe it's because you're hungry. I mean, you should never try and use your brain when you're hungry. Bad. Right, such bad cards. Anyway, GG, good night, sir, and chat. Good night, RJ. Thank you very much for dropping by. So, RJ saying good night is a very, very good time, really, because we have been going for a few hours now. And as mentioned a little bit earlier, I would like to watch some F1 tomorrow morning in about 6 or 7 hours. So I also need to go to sleep. So I think this is where we're going to end the stream for the evening, which is a little bit of a shame because I appreciate that Nee has just come in and I'm now saying goodbye. So I'm sorry, Nee. I'm sorry, guys, that have just popped in. James as well. Damien, I appreciate you've just dropped by relatively recently. But lovely to see you all, guys. I will be back on Monday at about 4:30 p.m. We have the Moneyball Clinic. It's going to be released over on YouTube at 4 p.m. We'll then be streaming from 4:30 p.m. There is no stream on Wednesday. Next weekend, we're doing... I'm doing a 36-hour stream over the course of 3 days, raising money for Gamers for Giving. So we're going to take a little bit of time off earlier on the week. I will be, over the next couple of days, over on Twitter, over on Discord, etc. So I'm going to be giving a little bit more information about the various things that will be going on over those 3 days. But one of those things involves, if we reach certain donation amounts, we've got 7 hot sauces. Now, they arrived earlier on today. It seems, not the most exciting bottle I've ever seen in the world. The Reaper chili sauce. So we've got Carolina Reaper one there. Their scale on the website was 1 to 5 chilies. And apparently, this has arrived with a bottle that has 7 chilies on it. No, it's not going to come into focus, is it? It's not going to come into focus. There we go. Professional stream. But it's a Carolina Reaper anyway, so it's right up to the top of that. Not quite the very, very top, but it is obscenely. If we raise over £500, I am going to make myself suffer whilst streaming for 36 hours. So I'd love to see you guys across then at some time. No obligation whatsoever to do so. Anyway, I've been whittling on. Let's say thank you very much. Let's end the stream over on YouTube. On Twitch, let's go and raid out and show some love. So guys on YouTube, thank you kindly.